Hello, gamers, and welcome to episode 476 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for November 23rd, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on, Dominic?
Man, it's been crazy few weeks. Yeah, I'm just gonna get right to it because we got a lot to cover. So I know in the sporting world, my team lost. Oh yeah, I'm also
Boom.
at a different location than my before, so I'll probably sound different on my on the mic. But yeah, the Commanders they've lost 2 games in a row for the first time this season, and they were two good teams though. So there's the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Philadelphia Eagles. So we had to go through the Pennsylvania gauntlet, as they would say, and both those teams are doing good. And so I mean, Pittsburgh did just lose to the Browns. That was an upset on Thursday. But they've beaten the Ravens the week before. I mean, it's just crazy how those division games work. How, like, the Browns are just that bad, but they beat Pittsburgh in the snow. But yeah, the Washington team, yeah, it's not that big a deal, really. I mean, people in sports and seem like definitely in social media, everybody speaks of hyperbole. I mean, so they make everything bigger than what it is. Thing is, just like our team is a rebuilding team, really. We really just thing is it's a surprise that we are where we are. So we played against 2 teams that, well, for one, the Steelers, Russell Wilson seems like he's back, or at least a lot better than what he was at Broncos, or the Broncos situation was just not good for him. And Steelers always had a decent team, but they always had the good defense anyway. The defense has always been really good. And Philadelphia, I mean, they went to Super Bowl 2 years ago, and they were disappointment last year. They still wanted to win the division. Oh no, they didn't win the division. My fault. I think they lost. They lost the Cowboys, yeah, because they had to go to on Tampa Bay. But they are the team now. Like this, they were picked to win the division. They have a team that's capable of doing a lot. Like and they got stars. I mean, those are 2 teams that are better than ours. Like they are. I mean, they got the players. They got the players on those teams that do better than us, and we played them both well. I mean, we haven't got. I think our biggest loss was probably to Tampa Bay the first week, and other than that, like all our games have been within a score. Like, and I think that's probably the most frustrating thing is that we had a chance if we just did some things right or something like that. We probably could have stole at least one of those games, but hey, we didn't. And luckily, I look at the schedule. Like, there's no excuse why we shouldn't at least have 11 wins at minimum, because it's like these are some teams that are not that good we're about to play. We got the Cowboys twice. Cowboys are not good. Like, you can say rivalry game all you want. At this point, no. Like, they're on their second street quarterback. They are just all dysfunctioning. They're looking like what we used to be, all dysfunctional and stuff like that. So, like this year, so it's like, take advantage of that. Kick them body down. That's what you gotta do. Kick them body down. I think we played the Titans. I want to say. I think somebody said we played Titans, and yeah, they're pretty sorry. They have an all right defense, but this is a team you should beat. I think we still play. It's some other teams we play too that they're just not good. Like that we should be able to win. So yeah, it's like I'm looking because I looked at it. I was like, you know what? There's no excuse why we shouldn't win Four more games. Four more games of these last. Where are we at? It's what's 11 games now. So we got what? What would be 74, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So 11 games. What is it? How many games you play? 17 now. Oh, so yeah, these last 6 games, like we should win 4 of them. Like, because we do play the Eagles again, so I don't know where that's going to be. Can we split against them? And I forget what the other team. I think Atlanta. Atlanta's not great, but they're good. They're like a good team. They could be really good, then they can look really bad. But they are a team that's could be like they look like they could be in the playoffs by default probably because their division only other team in the division is Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is kind of iffy because they got some injuries. So yeah, so it should be a good, interesting last few weeks. But yeah, like it'll be disappointing if we don't make the playoffs. Like based on what I see now, it's just like what we do afterwards. But hey, man, I'm still enjoying the season. So it's been good. I didn't really watch a lot of college football, so but I know like I would have loved this years ago because now they got a playoff system going on here, so more teams are getting in. Like years ago, I've been into this, but
Yeah.
I've been pretty much as the years go on, college football has just not been the same for me anymore. So, and it's not even hey, look. I mean, it's not even because of the nail stuff, like how some people like don't like it. I'm okay with that. It's just I don't know. I was losing interest before that stuff happened. So it's like darn. I wish it would have happened like maybe like 10 years ago. Had this stuff happen, but whatever. But it is cool to see like these teams are more competitive because players are going different places now, and it's no dominant team. It's no dominant team in college football this season. So that's pretty cool. I know Deion Sanders' team's doing pretty good. Even though a lot of teams they played against are gone, they're either gone to the ACC or the Big Ten. Like the Pac-12 is not the Pac-12 anymore, and then it's funny seeing like I think I was watching women's basketball last night, and Stanford was playing Morgan. Morgan is if you don't know college in Baltimore, and I see ACC, and I was like, oh darn, Stanford's in the ACC now. So that's freaking crazy. A college in goddamn freaking California is part of the Atlantic Coastal Conference. It's like, what the hell? I know the NBA is doing that Player Cup thing, and I've been looking. I mean, I've really looking. I've been checking out some games. It just seems like every time I look at an NBA game, a star is out. It's always a star that's hurt, or at least one star. And at one point, I think it was like two of
It's
them
here.
on
Is it the recording?
the San Antonio. They still won though. It stopped. It's because okay, like okay, I started back up. Or at least now it just starts right next to it instead of had to start a
Where
new
you
thing.
were?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but I gotta do yours though. I gotta freaking sync it up. Um, yeah, it's yeah because that's my mic cord. I touched it and it must have yeah.
Yeah.
Shucks. I just gotta make sure not to do that. So I definitely have to leave it on this screen to make sure. Definitely was not happening before. Um, but anyway, yeah, I was saying about basketball is that yeah, the it's a star driven league. So the stars that are playing, I mean, unless you're a basketball enthusiast who just likes the game, and at that point, I'm just going to watch college basketball if I'm going to do that, because I'm like, no, the NBA, it this is the stars. I want to see the stars play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like y'all enough because like my favorite team is the Wizards. So if I'm going to watch a team, and even though they suck, I'm going to watch them. Where I don't know nobody, but I'm still rooting for them. Like if I watch anybody else, I need to see the stars. So yeah, I was like, come on, man, I got it's like, what is it like these like in these later years that these stars are just always hurt? It's like it's always. It's like it's not. Man, it sucks. The NBA plays too many games. Like I don't know what. how they get to the 82 games thing season. Like, I don't know when it started, and I don't know why they picked that many games. It's like, this ain't freaking. I mean, it's not baseball. I mean, it's still like half a baseball season, but it's still too many games. It's like it should be that many games for basketball. And now, like, see back in the day, that's the thing. It's like, because the incentive to play is probably more. People aren't getting paid as much as they are now. Um, like, even you can put inflation in it all you want to, because it's still more. People are still getting paid more because they're making more. They're making a whole lot more money, and players, I don't know, just more incentive to play a full season. Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe some guys they probably should have rested and stuff, but they probably just played through the pain. While now people are saying be more cautious. It's like, hey, I don't want to ruin my career forever, so I'm just going to take some days off. And which, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you want to, but then it's like, but these are professional games. This is what people come out to see. Like, people pay to go see this, and then when you want to watch TV, I want to be like, oh, like this star ain't playing right now. It's like, it's not. It's like, come on, man. I said, this sucks. That's why I wish the NBA was like 56 games or something like that. Like 50, 60 games. Yeah. Maybe at the most 60, even though I still even think I like 50 something. Because it makes it so that these players will play. Like, if they're injured, they'll be really injured. Like, they say, oh, he's really hurt. Because he knows he can't be missing these games. Because these owners ain't going to be paying you if you miss games like that. Because they'll be like, if you're not on the court, there's no point. Because that's all people came for. And we're not into the playoffs if you're out. But since there's so many games, it's like they can miss a lot of games and still get to the playoffs. What else? I know it's still free agency stuff going on in baseball. They have done the awards though, because baseball, that's what they do. They always do the awards way after the season. For whatever reason, that has not changed, because I just forget about it, because it's like the awards come out in the middle of football season and basketball starting. So it's like, I don't get that. And the college football, you got college football. I mean, you got all the other sports happening. And then, hey, we're going to see our awards. Who's the MVP and Cy Young. If I remember, Cy Young, I know, was Tarek Skubal for the Detroit Tigers. I'm trying to remember who was the Cy Young or the National League. I don't remember. I know the MVPs was Aaron Judge for the Yankees and Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers. So, yep, they were. And some people were making fun of Aaron Judge, saying like, yep, he's a regular season king because he doesn't do anything to the playoffs. And these are Yankee fans. So that just shows you that these guys, New York is just brutal. Like, they don't care. They like, yeah. I mean, some people, there's a lot of people too say like, yeah, good for him. He was definitely the best. Which he was. He was the best regular guy in the regular season. But they killed him for those playoffs. they are killing him. But Shohei Ohtani, I mean, he did okay in the playoffs. It's not like he was great in the playoffs either. I mean, he was better than Judge than everybody was, because he just played really bad. But I think he had a video or something like with his dog, and I guess that was a big deal because it was funny because his dog seemed to do tricks and stuff. Like, I think he threw out the first pitch one time, the dog did. Yeah. Well, I think maybe he ran up to I forgot how he did it. But yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, yeah. So he was back to back. He went back to back MVPs. Yeah. I mean, this is what baseball wants. Yeah, he's going to end up probably being the greatest player ever. I mean, we'll see if he pitches again. That's the thing. Yeah. I want to see if he pitches again. And some baseball enthusiasts or something, or haters, or I'm not going to call them all haters. I mean, some of them are haters, which I'm okay with because I'm a LeBron hater, so I know how that is to hate the greats. But because they feel like they Lindor should have got it because Lindor actually plays defense. Shohei Ohtani was just a DH. And they saying like, hey, that's not fair. I mean, they say like, look, yeah, he hit great, but he didn't play no defense. And that is an argument, but he put up some good numbers, and it's like one of those arguments where like I don't really care. Like Shohei Ohtani wins, it's like, yeah, he should win. Now, if some reason they didn't give it to Shohei Ohtani and they get it to Lindor, I'm not arguing it, but I know a lot of people will be mad, but I wouldn't care personally. Well, one being that it's not none of these players are on my team, and two is like it just doesn't really matter to me because it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. But I think they did the right call. I mean, Shohei Ohtani should have got it. I mean, he got it. I mean, you just got to change the rule. I mean, you got to make some stipulations then if you're going to do that. I do believe that I don't like a pitcher being MVP though, unless in the case of Shohei Ohtani, if he's a hitter, also because I just think like the Cy Young is just as like MVP should be like that's the offensive guys, like that's the offensive guys and the offensive / defense, not pitching. The Cy Young is just as important as MVP. Like it's just as big. Like how they talk about Cy Youngs, that I think like that is the pitcher MVP basically. Like you don't need to have it where it's because the thing is people don't play because nobody treats the other offensive award or whatever award that's it. I forgot what it's called. I think it's like Hank Aaron Award and it's some other award too, offensive award. They don't treat it like a Cy Young, so I can't say like, oh, this guy won MVP and then he won this other award. Like it's like that's not the same. It gravitas as a Cy Young. Like it doesn't feel as big as a Cy Young. So it's like the MVP is the award. So it's like, yeah, that should just be the offensive guys then to get the MVP or call it something different then. Because I just feel like Cy Young, that's a big enough award for the pitchers. Because there has been a pitcher who's won his MVP. What's his name? The guy who showed off his penis. He got hacked. His phone got hacked, and he saw his girlfriend naked. And Verlander. Verlander. He won MVP before, and I was like, I mean, he was great, and I was like, man, but come on. I say that's not. Cy Young is good enough for him. I'm not gonna go through all the awards. I don't even know them all. Honestly, I just saw it popped up because they put these things out so late. I forget about them. I mean, those, and I still can't remember. I'm trying to think who won on them. The national. Oh no, Chris Sale. Chris Sale won because that was his first one. Chris Sale's been great for years. It's just it's always somebody who does slightly better than him or something like that, or does a little better than him. But he's been a great pitcher. So for him to get his first one, I'm happy for him. So that's it. So any wrestling news?
I guess the biggest thing coming up, well, this weekend is AEW's pay-per-view. I'm not too caught up on what's going on there, though. But the biggest news coming out of SmackDown is that CM Punk is actually going to be the 5th member of the OG Bloodline team, Roman Reigns team.
CM Punk is Samoan
match. He is an honorary Samoan now, along with Sami Zayn / Sami Uso. Basically, that comes from him being a Paul Heyman guy.
Oh, okay.
So last week on SmackDown, Roman finally realized that he needed to make the call to Paul Heyman because we hadn't seen Paul Heyman since he got, I think, like powerbombed through a table by the new Bloodline guys. And ever since Roman's come back, he hasn't really, made any attempt to reach out to Paul. And we know that after his loss at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns wasn't really, reaching out to Paul Heyman either. So it seemed like there was kind of a disconnect there. Roman Reigns tried calling him last week. The number went to like an unregistered number. It was like, boop, boop, boop. The number you called is no longer in service. So we're like, oh no. And then this week he came back, and along with him, he brought CM Punk to help out because they were trying to recruit Seth Rollins to help out. And he basically said, like, no, after what Roman Reigns has done to me and to the company and all that stuff, there's no way I'm ever going to tag with him ever again. So I actually like the idea that he's sticking to his guns there, because the fifth member of the new Bloodline team is Bronson Reed, who is a guy also not necessarily Samoan. He's Australian, and he's been in a feud with Seth Rollins as of late, so it seemed kind of like that was going to be the obvious choice, was going to be, okay, they add Bronson Reed to that team. Obviously, they're going to figure out a way to bring in Seth Rollins for this team. So I like the idea that they didn't just go to that immediately, even though they tried to, but they're telling a more interesting story there. And I'm interested to see where they take it from here. I mean, obviously, during Roman's kind of reign, CM Punk wasn't really around, so they haven't really had any issues necessarily, per se. So that could lead to them having issues if we were to like turn CM Punk heel, depending on if you felt like he was a heel against Drew McIntyre or not. Yeah, and then just leaving the Seth Rollins stuff there, I could see him still finding himself getting involved some way because of Bronson Reed being involved in that match. Yeah, so they're telling some interesting stuff there. The Women's War Games match is shaping up now. Rhea Ripley's back because she had been injured on NXT a couple of weeks ago by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. So she is back now. Yeah, I think all around it seems like that should be a fun show. I'm interested to see what happens with the AEW stuff too, but I'm really excited for next year when when Dynamite is going to be coming to Max, and then I can actually watch that a little more frequently, the same way I do with the WWE stuff. Well, specifically the pay-per-views, and Raw will be coming to Netflix, so that'll make that easier to watch. Also, I just wish AEW had some kind of deal for their pay-per-views with Max. I think they do have some kind of deal, but it's like a discounted thing, and I feel like it's probably not going to be the discount that I would like to see, and I still just can't bring myself to pay basically like ticket prices for watching the show streaming. So yeah, that's what's going on with wrestling right now.
All right. At the sports, the TNT, because since they're losing out the NBA next year, because people are talking about like, wow, this is going to be the last time we see inside the NBA, which is like the best sporting it's like, to me, the best sports show out like around sports, like before the pregame and postgame. They're the best around. Like, I'm trying to think of even football. Like, I like those guys, Charles, Kenny, Ernie, and Shaq. They have, I just saw like they got a deal with ESPN, so ESPN is going to pick those guys up because ESPN has been lacking as far as that. Even though ratings have been better, that's because they have better games, and the ESPN usually does. Well, yeah, usually it does, and there's a lot of people have ESPN. Even though technically a lot of people have TNT also, but I think ESPN is just the name itself. But thing is, people always criticize their shows. Like it's not that good. I mean, everybody knows it. It's like they're not that good compared to inside the NBA. So now they're going to get them, which it's like I'm kind of happy, but I was kind of mad because I wanted to be like, hey, I stopped watching and everything sucks, you know? So I was like, hey, I stopped watching at my time. But it's like, those guys, they just getting those guys back. But I don't think Shaq. Shaq said he wants to stay, but they said he hasn't officially signed yet. And I forgot what the other NBA deals are, because the deal is like, I think they're going to stream the service somewhere. And I don't know, but I already know like the meta deal, which just pissed me off, because we got to see games for free, but now I don't think you do unless they do a special, because now it's a NBA League Pass thing where you can watch the games on VR. And I was like, oh man, that's because I was looking for events. And I was like, I gotta pay for this thing. I'm not gonna pay to watch this. I was like, yeah, especially a league where the stars don't play. Yeah, I'm gonna pay for that. You kiss my ass. I'm like, yeah. So I'm not gonna like pay for that where I always watch these games. Especially like I remember that game where LeBron didn't play. It was on VR. I know people were mad. So where LeBron, somebody said he played last night. I said, I don't give a damn, to get paid $1 million. Get out there. I mean, he ain't gotta. Don't run. Like just stay on one half of the court then. Shit. Anyway, where we at? All right, so we get to what we've been watching. So, have you watched anything?
I'm trying to catch up on Penguin. I was telling you I watched a little bit more. I also watched a little bit of the second set of the Arcane. I think just the first episode of that.
So you didn't complete nothing?
No,
where you could have just focused on one and completed one. God darn, Daniel.
Well, it's not even that. It wasn't even that I was jumping around. I can't
talk about anything.
What's that?
So now I got to just talk about anything.
Well, did you finish Arcane?
I did both of them. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you can. I don't really care if you spoil either of them, Dominic. I'm still gonna watch them.
It's supposed to be a discussion. It's not. Yeah. I'm not be spoiling. It's supposed to be a discussion. So yeah. So, Arcane. Yeah, I think it's. I don't like it as much as the first season, but it's all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like, how you feeling about it?
Going into kind of the cliffhanger of the first set of episodes, I thought that was pretty cool, and they were setting some stuff up that I was interested to see where it was going from there. Once with that first episode of the second set where they put the one character into power, and make her the leader of the city or whatever. I'm not totally convinced with that. I like the vulnerability they're showing with her.
With who?
But what's that?
Vulnerability with who?
With I can't remember her name. The woman that wears blue all the time, whose mother got killed, and she's taking over control of the city.
Her.
Yeah, that's my problem with the show is I find it hard to just remember characters' names, and I don't know that that's necessarily the show's fault.
I don't think it's the show's fault, honestly. I don't remember names, but I don't remember names from no shows though. So
yeah, I mean that's kind of the problem. Even the Penguin, it's okay, I remember obviously Oswald, but even the kid who works for him, his name I can't remember his name. Oh, okay. Yeah. So so far I'm liking it. I want to see if they pull off the ending, because that's really what's going to determine whether this season sits with that season or not. So obviously, that should actually that third set of episodes should be out now. So I guess we'll find out real soon. I don't like how they're
making Jinx. I mean, I see how they make her sympathetic, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I will be disappointed if she don't die. I'm sorry. And there's a lot of people I see online who say Jinx can't die. I mean, there's some people like me who's she needs to die, but we're not it's not a lot of us. A lot of people are saying how Jinx say, so I hope they don't kill Jinx. It's dude, she killed too many people. It's that's fine.
That's the thing. So far from what I've seen, and again, I still haven't even seen the second set. It doesn't. Her just being kind of disconnected from the violence. She doesn't seem as interested in continuing it. That doesn't necessarily redeem her in the way that you
That's
would
what I'm
have to make her not, want to get killed.
You can do a Death Star being a Darth Vader thing, where it's like, yeah, he got redeemed, but he dies.
Yeah,
he had to. It's you have to. You done too much, man. It's like I'm glad that maybe you're whatever. If there's something afterlife, that maybe God will forgive you then, but not here. It's like this is it. I mean, no, I like the way they're kind of doing the character, but if something does happen in this one, that she might just end up going back to really being herself again, like really jinxes because of something that happens. I kind of hope it does, because it makes it easier for me to be like, yeah, kill the bitch.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm enjoying it. There's some people who I see some people who kind of like me, like say, hey, I like it, but that's good first one. But I see some people who really just say, oh, it's better, and I say, okay. I mean, it's I'm not really seeing anybody who say they don't like it. I'm not really seeing that. So that's good. At least that's good that it's still really favorable so far as far as these episodes. Even though I don't like that they just now that Netflix was the last batch of like, hey man, we put out shows, we put them all out. If we're gonna do a season, we put them all out. Now they're gone the route of, or at least they do like this is the first season part 1, but at least it's like hey, this is like, all you do is just tell yourself, no, that's just the first season, and the other one's the second season. Y'all just call it that for contractual obligation, like to pay or how you pay people. But I don't look at it like that. But this, I kind of just wish they had put them all out so I can just get that over with. Because three more episodes came out today, right? Or 2 more? Yeah. I forgot where they at now.
3 more. Yeah, they're 9 total.
All right. Wait a minute. Because I didn't know I thought the last few it wasn't trying to put out all of them at the same time. I thought, because I could have sworn I saw like a different date for the 9th one. What's it called?
Don't know. I mean, it's on here now, but they've released the 3 and then the 3, and then this is the last batch. As far as I'm aware, that's how they were doing it. It was just 3 sets of 3.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So I set to probably finish watching that and see what happens. All right. So I guess we get to what we're playing. So what you been playing?
So I tried out a couple of things. Played a little more Astrobot just to test out those speedrun levels. I still wish there was more that they were doing DLC wise, but I do still have some secret levels that I need to unlock. So I've still got some content in that game that I need to get through. A game that I've not necessarily been playing, but spending some time with, Pokemon trading card game Pocket. That is the like less battle focused one and more like collection focused one. So it's like opening card packs and stuff like that. I was interested to see how that was, just because like I was starting to see a lot of stuff on like social media of like, oh, people opening card packs, and I was like, oh, Pokemon cards, and I was like, I don't need Pokemon cards, and I was like, oh, maybe this will like scratch that itch, because they actually like have you like picking a pack and then you swipe across the top to cut it open, and then you tap through each one. You can even flip them over so you start from the back of the pack. But honestly, with all the like mobile game tyification, multiple currencies and things, and it's just not really hitting. And they do have battles in there, which I think are kind of interesting, although I mean they're simple enough that like I could see myself playing it, but really they have an auto battle option, and I've really just turned that on and like let it play itself to get more of the whatever currency I need to open more packs. Excuse me. I don't think I'll find myself playing this for too much longer. This will definitely be like I'll play it until like I signed up for the trial of the like subscription thing. So they give you like a week or 2 trial or something like that. And I was like, I'll do that because then you can open more packs or whatever. But I canceled that. And I feel like once that runs out and I'm down to like opening fewer and fewer packs every day because you got to wait out the time limits or whatever, I'm just going to be like, okay, I don't need to ever run that again. So yeah, it's fine. There's some nostalgia level to seeing a lot of the cards that I had as a youth. But it just the physicality is not there, so it doesn't really scratch that collector's itch that I was necessarily having for this. I tried out Stalker 2. I just streamed it though through the Xbox stuff, and that was an absolutely terrible experience. The game, and we've talked about this in the past, but like they do a good job of keeping the game running and moving smoothly. But because this is a dark game, like all the blacks are just like crushed and super pixelated, like gigantic levels of pixels. So it was almost unplayable. And then I turned on my flashlight, and like the specific area where you're shining your flashlight or headlight or whatever it is looked fine. It still didn't look great, but it looked fine. But then everything vignetted around it is still really bad looking. And I feel like anytime I want to try like to stealth around an area where I can't just have my glowing flashlight shining on everything, that's going to cause a real problem for me. So I don't know that's a game that I'm going to spend a lot of time in anyway. It's one of those things where you maybe have to manage a little too much in the way of resources. I think Metro is probably a more slicked up version of this game that I would probably rather spend time in. I know you had said, turning up the brightness on that could help out a bit. I might give that a try just to give Stalker 2 a little more time. It's, a new game. People are going to be talking about it, so I wanted to, give it a try and see how it was. But so far, that's been my experience with it, and I don't know that I'm dedicated enough to playing that game to make room on my hard drive and actually download it and see if it runs in any adequate way on my PC. And then the last game I played a bit of The Rise of the Golden Idol, which is the sequel to The Case of the Golden Idol, which I had talked about not that long ago because that's a game relatively newly to Game Pass. This one just came out, but it is a Netflix game, so I'm just playing it on a tablet with my Netflix account because it's free if you have a Netflix account. So far, I've only played like 3 scenarios, but I found them a little easier, a little more straightforward than The Case of the Golden Idol. I don't know if that's just because it's a little more well designed or a little easier, or if I'm just like in a better mental space to try and work some of these puzzles out a little more. But so far I'm enjoying it. It works perfectly well on a tablet. I think it probably works better on a tablet than it does on especially like a console. Obviously you have mouse controls on a PC where you can just basically emulate using a finger, but it's a lot of just clicking on things and dragging words around. So there's nothing, that you would really need a gamepad for there. So it's really an ideal phone or tablet style game. I would probably say more a tablet style game because you want to be able to see stuff a little bigger than on some phones. But I'm really enjoying that so far. That one I'm definitely going to be sticking with, and just being able to pick up the tablet and play it will make it a little easier for me to just continue on and keep the momentum going, basically.
Hold on, what's this? What's the game you talking about?
This is The Rise of the Golden Idol.
Okay.
the sequel to The Case of the Golden Idol. So, all right, Dominic, what have you been playing?
All right. So I played some more Vampire Survivors. I done a lot of stuff in the Castlevania castle. I still haven't locked everything. I'm trying to think. Did I get to the final like boss? I'm not sure. I don't remember. I don't know if I got to final boss before the time runs out. Until death comes. I don't think so. I think I was still looking for some extra stuff in the castle to do because I think it's still something I had to unlock. But yeah, I like how there's a lot of secrets in that castle to find and do. And like I said, if you're a Castlevania fan, I guess there's a lot of callbacks to that series. But I didn't play all the Castlevanias, and the ones I did when like me, I played and beaten. I don't remember them. Like it's nothing really. I don't. Yeah, it's nothing. Castlevania is not something that stays in memory. Like I think I did play one of the ones you let me borrow. That was the Game Boy Advance one. But it was nothing memorable. It didn't stay memorable in my mind. I should say. Not that it's not memorable. It's just that I played through it and that was it. But Vampire Survivors, yeah, just this game is so addicting. It's so great. I played some more Metaphor ReFantasio. Like I went back to that game after Dragon Age Belgar, which I get to. Yeah, this game is pretty good, and I see why people really have it high up. But you definitely can see that it is really. I mean, you just might as well just say it. This is Persona. This is a Persona game. It's just like with the new. I'm not gonna say a new skin, but it's like it's just everything is different, but it's the same. It's like instead of calling these things personas, they call it something else, and I don't remember the term. And instead of them, and they have the day system. Like you could have a day, you got a certain amount of tasks you can do during the day, and then you have a big task which you have to get done by a certain time, just like Persona does. And then you have like these little quests you do to create bonds with people, just like Persona. Like it's a lot. Like everything about the game is so similar to what Persona has done, and it's fun because I like that system and everything, and it's kind of cool to be in this system where you're playing with these characters, and that also there's a lot of adults because Persona was mostly kids. They're like the kids in this is I think two of the characters, main characters are young, I should say. I think the main character is under like probably a minor. Um, and but it seems like the third character, well, one guy was an old man until he died, and then older gentleman, I should say, and now I got this woman, like she's an old woman, and it's like, oh yeah, it's a more mature theme, I should say. I mean, Persona. I mean, not Persona is not juvenile or anything. I mean, it's a mature thing with kids, I mean, with teenagers.
It's just
stuff.
more the setting, yeah.
Yeah. While this is definitely, it's more. It's kind of like darker in a way. That's the whole theme of it. Like, yeah. What else? But yeah, the gameplay, mechanics with this, I really like the battle system. It's similar to Persona. Yeah, it's very similar to Persona. Like the weaknesses, finding out, and then you like the guy like in Persona 5, you have that cat. In Persona 4, you have that fat thing, whatever the hell that thing is. I don't know what it is. And you have in Persona 3, I'm trying to think who was the oh crap. Let me check to see. Okay, I didn't hit the thing. All right. I forgot Persona 3 who was like your little cartoon character. Like in this one is a fairy. So she's the one who's always talking to you and stuff like that and basically giving explanations of things. So yeah, I mean I definitely like okay, so when I saw people talk like, hey, this is just like Persona. and and then I saw like, oh, it is. So it's not just like made by the guys. They they also use a lot from those games, but it's fine. I mean, it's not.
Mm.
I don't think that's a bad thing, because I actually like those mechanics. What else have I played? I played some more Dragon Age Veilguard, but I want to take a break from it. That's why I went back to Fantasio. Um, and well, actually, before we Fantasio, I went back to Trails to Daybreak, which ain't much really say on that. I just finished off chapter 4, so now I only have one more chapter left. So I'm almost done with that game. Dragon Age Veilguard. I did a couple of main quests and a couple of side quests, which the side quest was pretty interesting because it deals with the dwarf. Well, apparently she can use magic. If you know Dragon Age, dwarves can't use magic. No dwarf has ever used magic. They can't use magic.
There's a height requirement on magic.
Yeah. So she seems to have something that's similar to magic. We're trying to understand what she's got because something happened to her. The main dwarf in the game. So that was interesting. Also, I went to a place, I think Antiva, who I've always heard about in the games and in the books, but never been there. You had characters who are from there. It's a city of basically of assassins. I mean, it's not a city, not really a city of assassins, but they're known for having assassins there, like the crows. The crows are always they're almost like the higher people who would go, and it's always something like the aristocrats or whatever will hire them to get jobs done. So there's been like every time somebody's a leader, it's always like, oh, somebody get assassinated. Somebody hires somebody, whatever. But they do it. I mean, they take a job, but they take a job for it's got to be reasons and stuff. They have their own hierarchy, whatever. Because I remember in the first game, you had a guy. He was a former crow. He had left the crows, and he's on the run from them, really. So you do help him out. But now I'm getting a guy who's in the crows, and because I need him because he seems to have a knack for killing mages, and we got this that's like these two godlike mages who are like the main bad guys of this game. So you're going after him, but he's also possessed. You find out he's been possessed, but he's been forcibly possessed because somebody experimented on him, and so you have to deal with that situation there. So that's pretty cool. He's just like a cool character so far. Kind of almost makes me feel like a kind of Dracula-ish kind of character, like like he's from Transylvania or some shit. What else? What else about the game? Yeah, so far, I mean, it's been all right so far. Like I haven't got to like the dialogue stuff that I seen. Like I said, that was kind of cringeworthy. I did get to some of that stuff. Not the woke stuff. I haven't seen no quote unquote woke stuff yet. I haven't got that far. I haven't got some of those characters either though. Well, technically, I guess I got one of them, but I don't know her. I haven't gone deep into her life or anything yet. But like, yeah, I mean, but it's not that bad. It's like, yeah, like playing it is like whatever. As far as like the writing, it has a. I can't say it's been horrible. For this game, like this game it's okay. Like it's so far I played, I'm totally fine with it. Now, if I'm under the impression of like how I see people say, "Oh, Bioware is back," I think that's a definite over exaggeration. Like I don't know, I really don't know how you come to that conclusion, but maybe it gets so much better later on. Like right now, I'm having fun, but I'm also not out there like it's so far it's better than 2, and it's so far it's better. I enjoy it more than what I did in Inquisition. Like from these beginning parts, I've so far enjoyed because, like I said, the open world is really just messed things up for Inquisition for me. So yeah, I mean it's a fine game. Like it's like there was a grading scale I was looking at. Like I could see people saying like a 8 or up for right now, for right as of what I play right now. I don't see like that being ridiculous. I mean, I can understand some people maybe they don't like the writing or maybe don't like the art style, but even the art style, you know what? I've gotten so used to it, so it's not even like a real issue. Like the problems I have is like some, yeah, it doesn't. I do agree. Like it doesn't feel like if I wanted to be evil or like, well, not evil, but at least the other side of the spectrum where you could kind of be an asshole or something. It doesn't like seem like you can like even when I well at least based on I never pick those, so I'm always like kind of picking either being funny or a normal one, like a just normal statement. But it's something that's feel like it's stern. But when I read it, unless he says something's different, if you click on it, it doesn't look that bad. It just looks more like, hey, I'm focused on the mission here. Like I don't feel like doing no BS. That's when I'm focused on the mission. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't really feel asshole rich or nothing like that. Like I'm used to being. So I will say that that's yeah. If I were to do another playthrough sometime in the future, because I would play that kind of character. I'm curious to see like how that goes. Um, anyway, like I said, I did play Trails of Three Daybreak. Okay, I already mentioned that. Paper Mario. Okay, since I've been like, because I've been visiting mom in hospital. I've been like taking my Switch over and stuff, like playing handheld games. And I played some still playing Paper Mario. I think I got two of the stars. I think it's was it always 8 of them or something, 7 or 8, and all the Marios. I want to say 8. So so I must got must got 6 more to go. Damn, I got a lot of games to play. The show feels like I played a lot. I do like that. Well, see, it's no rewind system on the N64, but you do have you still can have the save state situation because, I would definitely be, I think I saved Scum, like, where you can get a whole lot of money somewhere. Like, usually you gotta, like, you gotta pick all the right boxes, or if you pick a Bowser box, you lose all your money or something like that. Well, I never pick a Bowser box because I always know where it is, and then I know where to pick. So I have a whole lot of cash, and I can just buy a whole lot of items. And so I was like, "Yay!" I was like, "Yep, that's my way of cheating." I just finished like the desert area. Dialogue's funny. And the bosses, they get a little difficult. Later on, like this time, because I had used all my items before finding the minions, and I was like, darn. So luckily I had like a save, so I was like, well, if I die, I can always just reload right here and just start right here. And because I think I had to do that one time, but I think I got it, got the win, and man, the Paper Mario it's pretty fun. Like I actually enjoyed that game. Um, I've been playing some Fire Emblem Warriors, the Three Houses one. I'm playing that a bit. And I've been playing Game Pass on my phone. Like I got because I already had the controller, like kind of adapter thing where you put it on your Xbox controller and you put your phone on it. And that seemed to work really well. And I've been playing some baseball up there. I think I played some Call of Duty, the zombies, just single player, and they look like they're updated so that there's I don't know if it's easier, but I think it's easier as in it's just for casual. I think it only goes a certain amount of rounds. I think that's what it is. So because I think the other one, I don't know how many rounds it goes up to. But I think this one has a round cap, maybe. But I didn't play with people. I just want to see how it plays on the phone. And it's fun. It worked well. Like streaming, I didn't have a problem except for when I did try out Genshin Impact because I played something down on PC and like I just started just to set up the account and stuff and just get into the world. And then I wanted to and I tried it on my phone. But on the phone, it automatically goes to touchscreen, and I can't get it to recognize my controller. I don't know what the problem with that is, and I was thinking it's like, is this for all touchscreen games? Is there a bug that's doing that? But Vampire Survivors didn't do that. So I'm thinking it's just Genshin Impact. I was like, okay, so hopefully somebody complains, because I haven't seen anybody like right now complaining about that for Xbox Game Pass. At least I see people complain about it, like controller support not working when like the Android or the iPhone, when Genshin Impact was already a phone game, but nothing for particularly Xbox. So I'm hoping they get that done, because I do not want to play that game on a touchscreen. So because I didn't play enough of it. So I played what I already had played years ago with that game. Yeah. I haven't even got to the city part yet, so there's nothing for me to say about it. Of that game. So yes, it does run on Game Pass, but right now there's the control support for the Android seems to be something. But hey, for most people, it's probably not a problem, because maybe they like playing. It seems like people like playing phones, with those kind of controls. So whatever. Mm-hmm. What else have I played? Okay, I think that's it. I don't think I played any other big time games, but there is something that because I was watching a video. It's this podcast / like YouTube video where they go into like deep dives of games, and they're like they did one, actually, I think it was like was it after COVID? I think it is after COVID they did it, but I just took so long because they done so many episodes, and only watched the first. I finally just got the first one done because it's like hours. But it was a Xenogears one. They were going deep dive of Xenogears, how the game was made, like all the stuff that, like the problems and the like everything of that game, like the real and they got like quotes, and stuff. They did based on the directors and stuff like that, people at Square Enix. And I was like, it's pretty cool, because I was like, I really like the game, but I always wanted to know like why wasn't it finished, and like why wasn't so what happened. And they really go through it, because they're playing through the game too, because they said like, hey, well, as they were doing it when it was live, they say, hey, play up to this point in the game, we're going to talk about it. And I finally just got to I think that's the second episode, and I finally just got this one done. It's been like 3 years now. But I went back to it. But the guy was talking about how the dialogue in the game, like you're talking about, like the localization and stuff like that. And I learned something, because how like I always complain about how in Japanese anime or Japanese video games, they always repeat what somebody says. Somebody would say like, "Hey, we got to go to Space Mountain." They say like, "We have to go to Space Mountain." Like they always. I was like, "Why did you repeat what he just said?" Yes, he just said that. Like, go. It's like why you like? They always do that in anime stuff. But the guy, he was talking about that because he was talking about how localization, how to fix that for America. But he said like, oh, for Japan, that's something they do. He said when they talk, they like how when we're talking to somebody, we use we see like yeah, like to recognize like you're being attentive, just to show you're being attentive to somebody talking. So you we use the things like yeah. You say okay, or stuff like that. While they do it by repeating what the person said. Huh. That's how they do it. So I was like, oh, so that's why.
That's why their memories are so much better.
That's why they are like always repeating, because I'm like, and like, see, but that's also, this is how also a guy was saying like how localization, it fixes that though, where it's not for us, it won't be like annoying, and it's more understandable. Like you'll see it happen, but not as much. Because the guy was saying like in this game, he said he thought his character was dumb. He said, why is this guy always repeating these simple tasks this guy says to him? He's like I took it like my character was dumb. Like he had to keep repeating what people say. I never took it as, oh, he's not actually dumb. He's just very attentive. He's showing he's really attentive. He's paying attention to the person. And say like that's what localization is supposed to fix, that I won't have that problem. I won't think like that. And that was an issue.
I'm not attentive at all.
Yeah. So see, and that's what I'm thinking, like that's supposed to be what happened in Star Ocean till the end of time or whatever. Yeah. So I hate that game for that. I was like, why do these people keep repeating everything he says? It's like, yes, he said it. Keep going. And now I'm like, oh, it's a cultural thing. Okay. Because the guy was even saying how his brother had gone over to Japan. He learned Japanese and he's been over for some years for some work. And then he came back home. That's how he would talk, though. Even in English, he would repeat what he said. And he said, like his roommate he was with, he would be like, what's wrong with you? He's like, why you keep repeating what I said? So yes, he said, like I went to the pizza place. So, oh, you went to the pizza place? He said, yeah, I went to the pizza place. He's like, why you keep repeating what I said? It's like, because he said he just was used to having to have to do that. So I thought, like, okay, so it's a cultural thing. I'm still gonna make fun of him for it, though. But
of course,
I'm not gonna stop making fun of him. but because yeah, it's just like. Oh, it's because it's still like, oh, it's rare to me, but it's like something y'all do. It's like, darn, like, yeah, I never. So, yeah, because somebody said, well, businesses, sometimes I get lost too. Because businesses probably be thinking, like, businessmen, when they're talking to other Japanese people, sometimes they get confused that they used to, but I'm probably not now because they probably know. They used to get confused that they think the guy's agreeing with them by repeating what they said. It's like, oh, yeah. And they say, no, he's not really agreeing with you, just showing that he's listening to you. Somebody said, hey, he just agrees with you that you said that. That you said doesn't mean necessarily
a retweet is not an endorsement, Dom.
Yeah. Which I always hate that for retweets. I was like, yeah, well, you got to give me context of why you retweeting it then.
Yeah, like retweet with a comment. Why are you saying like, oh, look at this trash? Like, why are you just... It feels like you're platforming it and endorsing it if you're just posting it.
Because that's what you're doing. Yeah, just putting that in your profile or your name or whatever, saying like, hey, it's not an endorsement. Then I don't know what you're doing. Because if you're just reporting news, like that's just what their thing is for. I don't know. It's like I don't know. Yeah. Because yes, whatever. But anyway,
even then, put a comment and say new news just dropped. Here you go.
Yeah, exactly. Because especially if it's an opinion. If it's an opinion, I can see if it's like, oh, something happened. But if it's an opinion, I'm going to think like, oh, so this is something you agree with. I'm going to think that. I'm going to think that. All right. But yeah, so that's yeah. So that's it for what I've been playing. So I guess we take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the flashback segment.
Yeah.
And we're back. So now we're flashbacking to 2014. 10 years ago. And we got 2 weeks worth of flashbacks. So actually we're just gonna finish 2 weeks and rest of the demo. So we're just going to finish off the month of November because by the time we come back, it'll be most likely December or it'll only be, the 30th next week, but it'll probably be whatever day we do it. All right. So the first game up, we got Assassin's Creed Rogue came out 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is the sequel to, it's actually it's a prequel. Is it a prequel or sequel to Black Flag?
I think it's a prequel.
Okay. So is it between 3 and 4 based on the timeline? Is it like in between those two?
I think that's how it goes.
Yeah. So this was actually the better Assassin's Creed game that came out that day. Which is actually a last gen at the time. It was a PS3 and Xbox 360 exclusive game. It wasn't even on PC yet.
Nope.
So, because thing is, the better versions were supposed to be Assassin's Creed Unity, which came out on Windows, PS4, Xbox One. So that was like, oh, this is the next gen game. Well, that's the last gen game, and the Unity had a lot of problems when it came out. It was a lot of bugs,
Yeah.
there, and I always remember that face that just freaking give me nightmares. That always
It's
show
just
on every
eyeballs
site.
in the mouth.
Mouth. Yeah, I hate that. I was like, God, because it reminds me of Mars Attack Monster or something like that, like the
Yeah,
alien from
it
Mars
does
Attack.
look like Mars Attacks.
Yeah, because you just like, oh, you just have to have the brain right there. And it's like there, that's it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I haven't played neither, honestly. So I can't speak to none of these games. I just heard that Assassin's Creed Unity wasn't that good, so I didn't even bother playing that game. And by
Yeah.
the time everything was fixed, I just didn't go back to those games. Rogue, even though I heard it was okay, it was all right game. I just didn't bother with it. Going to that game either. Did you play any of these?
I did. I think I might. I'm trying to think if I bought Assassin's Creed Unity, if there's some other way I played it, because
Well, I know
this
they
is the
end
one.
up getting all those
What's that?
games for free on Xbox 360 or maybe even PS3. But I know 360. These games we
Yeah.
got with Games with Gold.
Yeah. But I feel like I played it like around the time that it came out. Because I was kind of low on the series after 3 or during the time that 3 came out, because I had like blazed through the other ones previous to that, like because I felt like I had to catch up, and then by the time I caught up and played 3, I was kind of like, this isn't doing it for me. But I remember like looking at Assassin's Creed Unity or playing Assassin's Creed Unity and going like, why is this a stealth game where I still can't control whether I can crouch or not? Like this is not working for me. So I did not play it very long, even to really deal with the bugs and the whatnot of it all. And then Assassin's Creed Rogue I played more recently when it was out on the PC. And I didn't spend much time with it. I know I got that through something also. But yeah, I could see why Rogue ended up being like the one that people liked a lot more. It still had like some of the ship mechanics from 4 and that stuff. Whereas Unity, they were trying to, reboot the series almost because it was the next generation title. But clearly it just did not get enough time in the oven, which was disappointing because like the idea of like the French Revolution seemed like such a cool setting to experience that game, large crowds where you're just stealthily moving through. And then that was also the one where they were adding multiplayer and stuff too.
It's so weird because like Ubisoft is like almost like a French company. I mean, that's where a lot of stuff happened, and then
yeah,
and they ruined it. They ruined their own.
and you know what? Maybe
game.
they did. Maybe that's why the aristocrats got to them, and they, the Gumons are descendants of Marie Antoinette, and they're still angry about all of that, I guess.
So yeah, so that was huge because like this is the new Assassin's Creed for the day, and like that was like big news. Like, oh man, these games just did not do that well. I mean, it did not do. Yeah, not that it did well sales wise, but just they were not. They came out were not built well. They were developed well. Like they just so many problems. Yeah, like,
for as many people as they had work on those games. Yeah,
exactly. All right, another game that was really big that came out 10 years ago, which this is what got me an Xbox One, was Halo: The Master Chief Collection. This was the collection of all the Halo games for that time, and except for like all the mainline Halo games, let's just say first-person shooters. And it also had the Halo 2 remastered with it. That was the first time, so we got our hands-on. People got their hands on to that to play. And for me, this was awesome. This was all great. Like it was like, I got this whole collection of games, these Halo games, and they're all running at 60 frames per second. The up-res for the Xbox One, and then I got the remasters for 1 and the new 2. and then you're gonna have all this multiplayer be there too. That's pretty cool. But that was the problem. The multiplayer, it was a lot of bugs on that side. Because people couldn't like either getting games, like it was just either server issues. It was like, yeah, because I remember I just wanted to try it, even though I knew it was a problem, and say, hey, let's play some games. And yeah, it was bad. Like, and I mean, this is what Halo is really known for, is the multiplayer. I mean, of course, Halo. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I mean, Halo's known for everything. I mean, multiplayer is what keeps it around. It's like what people, keep playing. I mean, of course, like the single player is big, because obviously. But yeah, the multiplayer. But that was really the big thing about this, was that you get to play these games online, all these maps from all these games, all the mainline games, except for Reach and ODST wasn't up there at the time. But they had so many like issues with servers. Like it was such a disappointment. Something that should have been like the best thing ever to come out. Really, like one of the best collections ever, and that really hurt it. But it didn't hurt the ratings though. I mean, for people, the review scores, the Metacritic gave it an 85 overall. I mean, Destroy Toy gave it a 9. Eurogamer gave it a 9. Game Informer gave it a 9.25. Now, GameSpot gave it a 6. I want to say that it's got to be because of multiplayer stuff. And I'm just thinking, like, these Game Informer and them, did they not have problems with multiplayer, or they just, like, how did they do that? Like, how did they give the such a high score? Yeah, because the matchmaking issues that prevented players from playing online modes on release day. The technical issues deeply affected the game's online experience. Paul Tassi wrote the game on release was just flat out broken, and though improvements have been made, it's may very well be the worst major game release in a decade. The Halo 3 looks and feels surprisingly dated. Now, I don't agree with that. Unless he's talking about the multiplayer, because I can't speak on that, but I don't agree with the gameplay being dated. When compared to the rest of the collection, particularly Halo 2 and Halo 4. He must be talking about graphically. Even graphically, I mean, yeah, it's going to look, but it didn't feel like it was too
basically
old.
An up-resing. It's not, it's a full remake.
But it didn't feel like, when I see here dated, I'm thinking like PlayStation graphics. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't nowhere near like that. So I don't know. Like I don't agree with that. Like I don't agree that like it like dated, because it's used as a negative term, and I don't think it was like that. Series of cryptic pizza-themed teasers and a subsequent announcement of Halo Reach being added to Halo C Collection, and the announcement of the game coming to PC. 343 Industries was sent pizzas from fans as a token of appreciation. Fans gave them pizza? Brian Sketch Jarrett, community director of 343 Industries, eventually pleaded fans to stop sending pizzas, as the number of pizzas being delivered was becoming overwhelming. Yeah, that's a freaking damn shame. And you know what, man? See, just people like that need to die. We got people hungry in the streets, and they're sending pizzas to goddamn some video game creators,
game developers.
Yeah, what the f? And they messed like. But anyway, they did like, I'm surprised they mentioned about the maybe it's somewhere else in the article about ODST, like getting free. If for people who bought the game, like me, you got a code for ODST for free, and I think eventually Reach. I don't remember paying for Reach, so maybe if your original buy, I don't know if that was paid for. Like, if you did pay for it again, or was it free for everybody? I'm not sure, but I know I didn't pay for it. But yeah, I remember ODST is like, you would have. I think it was going something you had to pay for. Actually, but they said they was going to give it to people who bought the game because of all the problems that they had on release. So this was only an Xbox game. It wasn't released on PC until years later, 2019, I want to say. Probably until Reach came out, I want to think. When did Reach finally came out? So and that's probably around Game Pass time also.
Yeah.
So
December 3rd, 2019. Jeez.
Darn, is that late? But yeah, I mean, this was like the news of this was huge, like happening, and the news of it, like, I mean, of it when it was announced that this was coming out, and then the news of it coming out and having these problems for online, it just was not good for Xbox, man. Like Xbox One was already having a like compared to the PS 4 was looking good. It was like, hey, this is probably going to be a thing to help build it back up. You know, it's like, okay, maybe this Halo collection could be the thing that give it a jolt. And that news didn't really do well. And yeah, man, it was a little disappointing. Even though for me personally, it was great because all I did was play single player anyway. So that was awesome. I got to play these games in this big old collection. And now, like, after so many updates and fixes they've done, the collection is awesome right now. It's like, it is like one of the best things ever, like collections ever. Like, people actually, like, it seemed like they like that more than Halo 5.
Yeah.
Going down. Finally, Dragon Age Inquisition came out 10 years ago. Yep, and that was another game I got on Xbox One. Because, this is when I got my Xbox One. I got Dragon Age Inquisition.
It's like Black Friday, right? As part of a bundle, they both came together.
Did they both come together?
Because I thought it was Halo came with the console, and then you got to choose a game that you wanted to get for free with it or something.
I think it was Roz. That's the one I got with it. Because I think, because I felt like Dragon Age Inquisition. Maybe it was. Maybe that was because I know I couldn't. Well, Roz, you know what? Roz was digital, I believe that I got.
Right.
I don't think that.
Could it come with both Rise and
Inquisition? I had the disc. Because Halo was a disc also. Halo was a disc because it was cheaper. It was with that bundle. Maybe I don't know. I know. Yeah, I did get 2 games. I know I got 2 games. I just forgot which ones it was. But anyway, Dragon Age Inquisition. This was the sequel to Dragon Age 2. I saw like they had good reviews. People liked it. And I was like, I'll get this game on the Xbox One since I figured like on the PC is like I don't know if my PC was going to run it. I didn't have a graphics. Yeah, I didn't have a 970 at the time. At that time, I just had a AMD something. So it probably could have ran it. Yeah, I'm sure it could have run it. It just wasn't going to look that good. So I just said I'll just get the Xbox One version. And I mean, overall the game was all right, but it wasn't as good. Like I said, the open world really makes it that it was just too much stuff to do, too much bull crap, and it just takes away like an RPG. It's really based on a story. If I'm doing this other stuff, and it's like, I'm away from the story for so long. I was like, I got this freaking quest stuff to do, like the main quest, and I've been all this other minutia is just. It's just in a way. It's just there to make me play the game longer. It's not there. It doesn't enhance the story for me. And I think that's the problem I really ran with this game. Because yes, overall, technically it is better than 2. But story-wise, I don't know. 2 was still better than this one. If you look at the scores were good. 85 on PC, 89 on PS4, 85 on Xbox One. Like Destructoid gave it an 8.5. Game Informer gave it a 9.5, and now I'm like thinking about that. It's like, wow, that was way too high. Way too high.
That's why they went out of business.
Who did that? Joe Juba? Joe Juba? Yeah, Joe Juba, yo, I don't know, man. I don't know about your taste, man. 8.8 by IGN, 87 on PC Gamer, 9.5 on Polygon. Yes, look at these high scores. And I'm thinking this was great. I mean, based on these scores, you think like, yeah, it is game of the year.
Yeah.
But after me playing it, I don't know. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, look, like I would think this was a great game maybe a few years before. I maybe probably would have really agreed with them. That's like pretty good. But it's just that but other games with the open world stuff better. And I just, like I said, I feel like it takes the stuff that you get these worlds. I mean, it was cool that these worlds were open and huge, and it looked nice. But like the game, while playing it, you're doing a lot of meaningless stuff sometimes in those worlds. That is just it took away from the story. Like and maybe and for Dragon Age Inquisition, I think actually it came out at a good time because it came out a year before Witcher 3. And if it would have came out after Witcher 3, these scores would have probably been like sevens.
Yeah.
I feel like these scores would have been sevens, man. So I think it came out at the right opportune time. Like I think even after I played it, I would have probably gave it like an 8. Maybe 8.5 would be the highest I would agree with. I think at 9.5, man. I think that's a little. I don't know. Now I can see why people a lot. Yeah, I mean, if you think this stuff is if these are the same, I mean, I don't think these are all the same people though. These ain't the same people that's reviewing Veilguard. But if you just go by scores and see that this got 9.5, all that stuff, I can see why Veilguard. Some people might call like, oh, Bioware is back, like or anything. Even though the people who are on the internet who didn't even play the game, who saying Veilguard is horrible and stuff like that, they really like the Inquisition. So I just think your taste is just yeah, like it all too. Because I was like, wait a minute, Inquisition is okay. Like it's okay. Like overall, I'm just thinking like, man, Dragon Age, it might not be that great a series. I think it's just one. One was great. Two, they just I don't know what the hell happened. And Inquisition's like, okay, they got to be good again, but it's just not. It's different. It's a different game. It's not one good. It's like they were getting there. It's like you're getting somewhere. And then with Veilguard, I think Veilguard is pretty good, but overall, like I was looking at the overall series, I'm like, yeah, it's probably close to like a 7 kind of series if you want. If I just had to put all the games together, I have to finish Veilguard. Maybe Veilguard jumping up to maybe like an 8 or something. But I'm like the way that like the gameplay of Dragon Age 2 was horrible, but the story was good, and the gameplay of Inquisition was okay. I wouldn't say it's good. It's okay. And the story was okay. While one, well, you know what? I have to agree with what you call it. The guy we had on the podcast who said he didn't like it because of the microtransaction stuff. That's when the first microtransaction stuff was happening. I don't think we even called it that. They like I miss all that stuff because I played the game way after that's like I had the bundle. So I didn't have to deal with that stuff. But I can see that be the problem. So yeah, the series is probably like, yeah, compared to like Mass Effect, I think it's down there. It's just the first one was, I think, overall, and I think they just regressed as far as like a real straight RPG. They started off like an action, like 2 was, and then yeah, maybe I will look at it differently. But it's just that always looking at it like, hey, this is a fancy RPG, but then they changed to now it's just a fancy action RPG, or RPG elements, whatever. Yeah. All right, so where we at here? Still not getting to games you played, Daniel. Okay, for Far Cry 4. So I have beaten that, but like years later, like a whole lot of years later. But this is big because this is like Far Cry on the new generation, even though technically it's still on the old generation. It's on PS3 and Xbox 360. But this is the first one that's actually came out when the PS4 and Xbox One is out, and you get to ride elephants. So yeah, you're in the Himalayas. So yeah, I mean, it was cool. It got rated. What did it get rated? It got rated probably the I have to think the 80s. Yep, 80 on PC, 85 on PS4, 82 on Xbox One. Short Toy gave it a 9. Game Before gave it 8.75. Eurogamer gave it an 8. I think GameSpot gave it the lowest score at 7.
Yeah.
I don't know who these guys are. Ju Video.
They're a French site. I've seen them around for a long time.
First time I've ever seen them on Wikipedia, though.
Yeah,
I've never seen them review everything. And
they've ever been big enough to be
a 16 out of
there.
20. Get the hell out of here, you damn French. 16 out of
self-hating French, Dominic. Why?
Well, 16 out of 20 is that?
Yeah, 16 out of 20 isn't bad.
Yeah.
20.
It's just a weird score. Yeah, it's just like.
I wonder if that's just like because they have a 10 scale, but they have like 10, 9.5 kind of thing like that,
But why? But Game Informer has 8.75. Why didn't they just do that with them?
All right, because they're weird in French, Dominic. That's why they use a 20-point scale.
That's what I'm trying to get at, Daniel. Is because they're French.
Can't excuse them.
Yeah. So yeah, the game is fun. I mean, it's a Far Cry game. I mean, like this, we find out like, oh, all these games are the same.
Yeah.
They just have
this is coming off the peak of 3, and then like, oh, this is still cool, but you're starting to feel the wear, a little bit there. And then by 5, obviously, people are like, oh, look at this. This is just the same game.
When did Primal come out? Was that before 4 or after 4?
That's a good question. Let's see. Far Cry Primal. I forgot about that game. That came out 2016.
Oh, so was after 4. So that was the one where it's like, hey, this is the same map as was 4. That's what they say. Was the same map as 4.
Was that what it was?
They say, hey, it's like a reskin. It's saying like it's a reskin map, basically, or it was a reskin. Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, it was interesting.
The game feels like a full-priced reskin of Far Cry 4 without the engaging storyline from EGM.
What you play as a caveman, right? Primal. I just always assumed that's that what it was, or was there like a time machine kind of thing going on here?
No, you played as a caveman. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you find out you're the descendant of the Far Cry men that you play as. You're them. You're all connected, just like Assassin's Creed. All right, so here we are. What we got here? Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor. This is the other game of the year with Dragon Age Inquisition. So this was this was the game that was on a lot of game of the year lists because of the year we had this year. It was a good game. You had that new that new system. What's it called? What's the system called, Daniel? What's the
Nemesis system?
Yeah, Nemesis system. Yes. Well, you actually beat the game because I didn't beat it. So you talk about it.
Yeah. So this took like Batman Combat, mixed it with the open world stuff that we had seen from like a Far Cry or Assassin's Creed, obviously. And I think in a lot of ways refined that stuff. And then, of course, like you mentioned, the Nemesis system was really the meat of this game. Everything else was like, okay, this is fine. And the Lord of the Rings settingness of it was fine. It mostly feels just like generic fantasy stuff. For someone like me, at least, who's not as like knowledgeable about the Lord of the Rings, maybe it it is, it mentions a lot of stuff that people are excited about. But as far as the gameplay for me is what drew me in. The Nemesis system is basically you had this pyramid of like a hierarchy of like, here are the goons, and then they have like sub bosses, and then above them are like the actual leaders of each faction. And you go in there and you would kill these guys, or at least you would think you would kill these guys, and then you'd move on to whatever your next task was. And then these guys would come back with like patched on ears and patched in eyes and all sorts of stuff. Like, hey, you tried to kill me.
Or you can lose to them, and they'll react to that too. That.
I never died, Dominic. That's why I don't remember. Nah, some of that stuff got real hard. Yeah, but that stuff. Excuse me. I'm gonna take a drink of water real quick. Yeah, some of that stuff was really hard. But the stuff that I also liked about just like the refinement of kind of the genre, like even moving around the world, you didn't really worry about fast traveling too much because they let you run at a ungodly speed across the map and just parkour over things that were in your
ghosts,
way.
Right?
Yeah. You had like ghostly powers. There was like some like one of the forgers of the One Ring or something was like inhabiting your body, and you were able to do basically supernatural stuff. But yeah, and then like I mentioned, it basically used the Batman combat, so that still felt fantastic in this game. This is the same developer that ended up making that Mad Max game. I've been interested in seeing what that game actually is, if that has like the same level of kind of just coolness to it that this game does.
Yeah, I got the Nemesis
really
system.
Just does it?
No.
I don't get it, Dominic. Like, I understand like other companies not being able to use it because of their patent or whatever. But like the fact that they haven't even used it in like a Batman game. I mean, we've talked about how this would be like the perfect thing for any superhero game. You throw this in like Spider-Man, where you're like dealing with these street level guys, and then eventually, they're working for somebody bigger, and then eventually at the top of the pyramid is, the big bads, the Norman Osborns or whatever. Like, that would be so cool. And I hope that's what they do with like Wonder Woman, but bro, like, who's the rogues gallery for Wonder Woman? Like, it's just not going to be as impactful.
And I guess the Greek gods
and Pedro Pascal from that second movie. Yeah, like it just you tell me Batman and like the same as I just mentioned for Spider-Man. Like, you have all these kind of like street level criminals and thugs that you can.
Pedro Pascal. I keep forgetting he was in that because he shaved, and I was like, I don't like him shaved.
Yeah. He should not exist without a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's but for me, I mean, in a year that seemed relatively lacking, this definitely ended up being one of the best games for me of that year. I was disappointed by that final boss battle. I don't entirely recall it now. I think you fight like Sauron or some minion of Sauron who basically looks like Sauron.
You don't fight Frodo or something?
No. But I think like if I recall correctly, it was like a glorified quick time event, basically. I'm so glad that we've moved past the era of like everything's a quick time event. Like, obviously you're still jamming on buttons from time to time.
I don't think we moved past that. I think there's some games that still do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I can't think of them. I mean, I remember doing it in a game, and it wasn't an old game I was playing. I wasn't not like old.
It's just not as prevalent.
No,
that
it's
time.
It's not like brutal in that, but some of the Japanese games still do it, What is the one I was playing, the Ghost Detective one, whatever I was playing recently. They because I had to hit the button at the right time and something, and I messed up and I got hit and lost like a lot of my health or something. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. All right. Oh yeah. Before we move on, it was something else I learned from that podcast about learning about Xenogears. Um, like the guy was talking about how because he went to Japan also. Oh, he's talking about because you're talking about how the director for the Xenogears how he took it up a lot, smoking and drinking, but that's like a normal thing with Japanese because they're always working. They always work these long hours, 6 days a week. They have like plus 100. I mean, like almost 7 days a week, 6 days a week, or maybe and they have these 40 more than 40 hours because they're working every day. So then plus 100 hours of overtime. I said like, yeah, it's like he said he was so stressed out with that. He said that's why he said a lot of people they want to go to work at Nintendo. Nintendo has like their working conditions has been so great. They said like when wives, they said there's like a survey where wives said where they want their husband to work at. It says Nintendo. And it's funny because we always joke about how we think people from Nintendo die and they just ain't telling us. I still think that though. I just think those people they lied to them.
They just die quieter deaths.
Yeah, they just tell them like, yeah, this is a great place to work, and then they go in and sign contract. Say you can't say anything about this. You got to say that you love this place and that we treat you fairly. That is the best place to work. But no. Is me. I want to know how that is then. How's that if that's true? I'm just going to take it at face value. I have no reason. I have no proof of otherwise. I'm just talking my ass. So I'm thinking that Nintendo is a real great place to work in Japan, and like, why aren't Square Enix and them like that? Now, people are saying like the stuff with Square Enix is what a lot of businesses are like in Japan. Like, so it's not like it's they're just a horrible place and they're like an outlier because they're horrible and the other places are decent. No, most places in Japan are like Nintendo's the outlier, really, about how good they work. I just want to know how they do that, how they're able to do that. Make an environment where they're not overworking their guys.
It's like you said, they just quiet the dissenting voices, Dominic. Anybody that would say anything bad about it, they get locked in a room.
Because I just feel like a company that big is something like you can just follow that model, like especially as a game company, like Square Enix or something like that. Like, what are y'all like? What are they doing that like you're not, or like are you? I don't know. I mean, I know that. Yeah,
I know the same level of war chest that Nintendo does, Dominic.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, to an extent, like, we've talked about it in the past, but like a company like Square Enix, I think, has gotten caught up in keeping up with the Joneses in a way that like Nintendo hasn't.
I mean, this also Xenogears, that was at a time, this is even before the Final Fantasy movie. So this is at a time when like they've gotten to a point, they're kind of moving up. And like you said, keep up and then crash. They crash like because they put all that money in that movie. They were doing a whole lot of Final Fantasy stuff, but they were just putting more like almost like cart before the horse kind of stuff happening. Like with the money situation stuff. But, I mean, and a lot of people left. I remember like early people left for Enix, like the director, the guy who created like Final Fantasy and stuff like that. He had left. The guy, like I said, the Xenogears, well, I didn't say, but the Xenogears guy, he had left because he did Xenosaga with Namco. He was in Namco or whatever. Yeah, like, because just the stress, they had to leave because of the stress of the work environment there and stuff like that. Even though a lot of that stuff probably helped the creativity, but it also just too much to deal with. And, but see, that's the thing is that I don't hear a lot of. I can see I have to pay attention, so that's why Richard was like a regular news outlet going because just going by that, I'm like, like I want to hear people's names. Like you hear people's names all the time in America and or the European stuff. Like people moving to say, "Hey, this guy left," but you know their names. Like you can easily look them up. You don't hear that a lot with the Japanese companies. I'm like, are you telling me everybody just stood there, or like what? Like I don't really know them. Like I mean, I don't really know honestly the European American ones, but I can know them. Like if I really try, if I tried, I can really know them. Like, their names are out there because I hear people talk about them. Like they're out there personally. Now I'm not saying
that speaks to like Nintendo not even letting you know what studio is working on something before it releases. You know, it's not. We can't even know the names of people, let alone we can't even know the studio, let alone the people who work at that studio.
Exactly. So it's just So I don't know because I just found that you can say like, hey. The people say they love the company and stuff, but it's getting suspicious. It's like, but your company's not really open where people can really see everything of it. We just see the stuff. The only stuff I see is the Nintendo Direct stuff. So is it happy like that all the time, dude? I got like
yep, just going around snapping everywhere.
Yeah, you got like Mario mascot just out around. Walking around the studio and stuff while people doing their work and stuff and just being happy and doing everything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see where I'm at here. Oh, yeah. Pokemon Omega, Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire came out. So this is just like what the remake of the Ruby and Sapphire
remakes
game.
of that generation. I forgot about these, honestly, from this generation.
I forgot them too. Like what they look like. Like are they like 3D or something?
Yeah, they're more 3D. I don't think they're fully, polygonal, but they're more 3D than the other games.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about like 3DX and like pop out 3D like 3DS. I'm talking about like
yeah, because of course they are that too.
Yeah.
Because But yeah, I just wanted to mention it because it feels like it's one of the bigger games, even though I don't think either of us really spent any time with it. And I think Ruby and Sapphire might have been like one of the last generations that I seriously played before the Switch one. So.
Yeah, that was one generation ahead of the ones I know because I don't even know all the silver and gold, but I know some of them. I know.
Oh yeah,
I know.
Nothing past like even the 151, and I'm some of that is starting to leak out of my brain, Dominic.
Oh well, yeah.
I'm seeing some of these Pokemon cards, and I'm like, who's that guy?
I'm saying even at the height, like I never even tried to learn silver. I just can't. If I knew it, I just happened to come across it. Like I know Pichu because it's before Pikachu. Like and I know. Crocodile Wild or something. What the hell? Totodile.
And that's the other thing. Like I can recognize Pokemon, but I might not even necessarily know their name. I'd be interested, like if you put a Digimon in front of me and like some of these newer Pokemon, like if I could even tell you whether it was a real Pokemon. One.
Yeah. It's like I could tell Digimon back then, even if I didn't know him. Like I said, yeah, that's why the Pokemon look. So that Digimon looked too scary. Looks too scary. The Pokemon don't look scary. Because like even the damn Ghastly or something doesn't look scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in this one, like I'm trying to see this one, see what like screenshots of this stuff. Because I just want to see like what's the difference. And oh my god, they have no screenshots on Wikipedia. What the fuck, man? Crazy. Yeah, they nobody put no time to put no screenshots of it. What is wrong with you? My God, I want to see like how 3D is this?
Okay, it's more 3D than I thought it was. Honestly, it's still like an isometric camera, but everything's 3-dimensional, and the battles are actually like fully 3-dimensional.
Oh yeah, it really is. Yeah. It's a damn shame. Look at this game, Daniel. And all I'm thinking is that this is just a low res of the new Switch Pokemon.
Oh, 100%. I was like, this is Hey You Pikachu. This is literally Hey You Pikachu.
Like,
and that's,
this is
I know
ridiculous.
You're talking about even the newer one, but
this is ridiculous. that this is how far they got. This is how far they gotten. Oh my goodness. And we just eat it up, Daniel. We just eat it up. Damn shame.
How could we not, Dominic?
Like we would just say, like, oh look, it's Fire 3D. You say it's 3D like back in the goddamn time it came out.
The game that I'm looking at right now, Dominic, this is a PlayStation 1 game. That they could have made this game then.
When the game came out, they could have had a 64 freaking Pokemon game. I mean, that's not just Stadium. All right.
Yeah.
Which I still don't. The Stadium that's on the Switch, I'm like, you can't even transfer Pokemon nothing. So, what the hell is it? Like I mean, I played it, but I was like, this is who's having fun playing this game? like I hate it so much.
Lots of people, Dominic. How dare you?
I mean, I didn't like it then. When I found out that when I saw somebody break it in school, and I was like, why aren't you moving your Pokemon? He said, you gotta hit fight. I said, that's just the same thing you do on the Game Boy. You mean to tell me that's what I thought you get to control it? At least control the Pokemon. I'm like, if they're gonna go through that where you just hit fight and stuff, like click on what they tell them what to do, you might as well just do it. Why can't you just do a full RPG then? And I guess like and then 20 years later they did it. 20 years they finally did it. The full 3D RPG. All right, here we go. We got Super Smash Brothers Wii U, and this is as far as Super Smash Brothers that I've owned. I think I've owned the Wii Brawl, I owned this one, and I owned the one on the Switch. And I played N64. I owned the GameCube and the GameCube. Melee. So this had to be the worst one. That I had because it didn't. I don't think it had a story mode enough. I mean, going from Brawl to this, it was a little disappointing. I was a little disappointed in this one. I mean, I played it just because, and it did. I think this is the one that did have Final Fantasy guy come up there. I think that's what I got. They had Cloud. I think Cloud came up there, right? He was the one of the downloadable characters. But I'm trying to think, did I get any other downloadable character besides Cloud? Because I didn't. I mean, I don't think I paid for it to anybody else. But yeah, they didn't. I'm trying to think. They didn't have like a real story mode like Brawl did, and they didn't have like a good single player for it. Like, god darn, yeah, they really went cheap with it. I mean, they also had on 3DS. I mean, that was like. This is the first time where they had the first and only time I could think, right? That they had two Smash Brothers. They had one on 3DS and one on the Wii. And I guess you could do stuff with them. I don't know. I don't think there was no exclusive character that was on one or the other. It was just like, hey, you could play one handheld. I guess that was art. You still there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was. Yeah, this was pretty. Yeah, it was basic. It was like a basic Smash. I mean, I guess gameplay wise is good, but for me, I need features. It wasn't a lot of features with this one. But the thing is, it came with my Wii U because it was a bundle. It was this game and what was the other game? It was two games that came with it. I want to say.
I'm trying to think what came with
Smash Brothers, and because I bought Platoon. Platoon was separate. I want to say, or maybe it was with. Was it with it? What's the Wii U? Let me see. Wii U bundle. That's one. It was two games. Okay, there's the Mario Kart one. I know it wasn't that one. You have
Smash Brothers and Splatoon had a bundle.
Okay, so it was them two. Okay, all right. So yeah, I had that. So wait a minute, are you saying separate or it was together?
It was together.
It was together. Okay, so I had that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had So I mean, that was a good bundle. I mean, it's Splatoon multiplayer and Smash has multiplayer also, but like I said, Smash was a disappointment as far as features goes. Yeah, that was probably the worst as far as Smash had owned. Nintendo, I told them they need to do better, and they did. They did with the Switch one. All right. So where are we at here? Now we at Tales for the Borderlands, episode 1, Zero Sum. This is Tales for the Borderlands from damn, what the hell what's the company called?
Gearbox or Telltale.
Telltale, yeah. So Telltale, like this is like the height of, this is like at the almost at the peak or at the Telltale, man. Like we're basically there. Like Wolf Among Us is basic. I don't know if it might be done. I think Wolf Among Us is done now. Because they got this one and Game of Thrones come out at the same time.
Yeah.
I want to say we got Game. Is it up here? Game of Thrones.
If it was, I didn't highlight it, but I don't.
Maybe it was
see it.
December. Maybe it was December. That's when it come out. But I know it was the same year. I know it was like after this. And like, yeah, because they were coming out.
Yeah, it was December. You're right.
Yeah, so they were coming out at the same time, and Telltale this is when they were like, yeah, we're just gonna crank out games and overwork our workers. It's like, yeah, we gotta pump them out. We gotta pump out these episodes. I mean, Tales of the Borderlands was good. That was overall the series was good. I don't remember like each episode, but I know overall series was pretty good. So I liked it. Like story wise, it was probably the best story of the Borderlands. I think it was Borderlands. I mean, Borderlands 2's story was all right. But yeah, it's but this is when Telltale they got too close to the sun, Daniel. Got too close to the sun. They thought they just had like they got too much. Yeah, they just picked too much work up, man. Like they were just going like you're gonna have both these games come out. Like you say, oh, we got Game of Thrones working on that one, and then after these series, they end up doing what's the game you played? Oh, they did a Batman. End up doing Batman after this.
They did Batman.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, god darn, man. And,
oh, jeez, yeah.
Yeah. So this is probably like the peak, man. This is probably the peak right here. Before things really go down. Like, it's like, yeah, it was still okay. Game, like as far as we know, Telltale was still okay.
We didn't know much, as it turns out.
Yeah. All right, Civilization Beyond Earth. Well, wait, this is for the Mac. They come out for the. What we talked? I think did we talk about this already? Civilization Beyond Earth.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
sorry
okay.
about that.
All right, yeah. We don't care about Mac over here.
We don't care about Mac release. We already talked about it.
All right. The Jackbox Party Pack came out for the Windows, so I know I played the game, but I don't know which one I played. It was.
I wanted to bring this up just because this is the start of like this series, which I think is like on. I don't even know, what are they on now.
This is the start
over
of
10.
Wait a minute, this is the start of it.
Yeah, this is the first game. Well, like not Jackbox, but the Jackbox Party Pack series.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute, I got
not you don't know Jack. No, that started in. Apparently, that started in 1995.
Oh, okay.
And ended in 2018. But the party pack stuff, anytime I'm at like my in-laws, that is a thing that if it's like a big family event where there's going to be lots of people, that it inevitably always ends up being thrown on the screen. Just because you can have so many people play and all you need is your phone. So people, know how to do it, even if they're not big video game people. So yeah, it's definitely a cool thing to do with a group of people. And yeah, just to have 10 of these games and then actually more, because now they have the Jackbox Naughty Pack apparently, which is their latest thing.
And that's good to play with the family too, right?
I Good question, Dominic. Good question. That one hasn't been broken out there yet. I mean, it seems like it's mostly just naughtier jokes. It's probably like Cards Against Humanity levels of, stuff. So it's, family like that. I would not be surprised if that did end up being included at some point, depending on how many of the younger children in the family were around.
Yeah, you should put that up there.
Yeah, that'll be my introduction for Christmas.
You won't be allowed to any more family events.
Oh man, is that how I get out of it? Yes.
All right. Is that it? Am I missing something?
Nope, that's it for 2014.
Right. So that's it for 2014. So now we're going back 20 years ago, and we got Metroid Prime 2 Echoes came out for the GameCube. So tell me about this game.
You know what? Honestly, Dominic, I struggle to tell you about this game because I did not end up actually playing much of this game. If this did end up getting re-released like the first one did on the Switch, it would basically be like a new game to me. I know in this one they introduced like the light suit and the dark suit, and there was like a dark Samus that you were fighting in this game. But honestly, like I'm kind of blind on this one. It's got a 92 on Metacritic and game rankings and got really high scores. I don't know why I never ended up putting the time into it, if it was just like came out at the exact wrong time or what.
Yeah, this was a huge year because this Metro Prime 2 came out, Halo 2 came out, and those two first-person shooters, those are like two first-person shooters exclusives. And technically, I mean, you want to go by exclusives, you could say Grand Theft Auto came out, San Andreas for the PS2. Like everybody had their big. I mean, I'm not talking about sales, but I'm talking about just quality, like just good games. Because we know Metroid is just not a huge seller, but it's still like a good game. Yeah. If you was a gamer at this time, man, each system had something great.
Green good
that came out. Yeah. And the dark light thing, which I'm surprised Nintendo. I mean, I guess because Metro Prime or Metroid, it's not a huge seller. They didn't do like a 2-game thing. They should have did like, the light version is it's on the DS.
Metro Prime 4
Advance, or Game Boy Advance. DS. DS would be out. Yeah, the DS or something. Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm surprised they haven't.
Well, they did technically have something for the DS. I will talk about later. Yes, if I actually highlight it.
Need for Speed Underground 2 came out 20 years ago. Yeah, I played this game. I believe I didn't have it. Who that played on it? I think it was at the time my sister's boyfriend's son had the game, and I played his. Yeah, Underground. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, this is the highlight of Need for Speed.
Between the first one and the second one, I spent a lot of time with that game. That might have been why I didn't spend much time with Metroid Prime 2, because I was doing a lot of PC gaming then, because between this and the game we'll talk about coming up here, and then the release of the DS at the same time, I think I would have just got preoccupied because I own that game, so I bought it. I just didn't end up ever spending too much time with it.
Oh, you had the DS version? Man, that'd be horrible.
I think I did actually own the DS version of Underground too, also, because that's how into Need for Speed Underground I was. It's like, let me add my little light kit that looks awful. That game ran all right. It didn't look good, but
that's the only thing I see. Is I also saw screenshots, and I was like, "Oh, this looks horrible." It's just like a PlayStation.
Yeah, it was rough. It was like PlayStation basically.
Yeah. All right. What the fuck is this? Field Magic XY/XX, and I'm looking at this cover, and I'm like, "Whoa, what is this?"
It was, I want to say it was kind of like a mini game collection thing almost. It wasn't really mini games, but it was like mini scenarios. And it was a lot of you using the stylus and the microphone, basically the features of the DS. Being one of the few games that came out at the launch of the DS, I did end up buying this game and thought it was kind of neat.
Dang, what are
I
you
forget
doing this
what
game?
the lineage is.
Because why do I see this woman in a bikini on the front? Like, what are you doing?
Because I'm feeling her magic, Dominic. Yeah, do you remember the game Rub Rabbits, Dominic? That came out on the DS later.
No. Yeah, I don't. Okay. Is that
I mean, take it how you want to, Dominic. It came from the same lineage, like it's silhouettes of people and it's telling a story about like romance, but you're doing like mini games to show your affection and gain affection for.
I'm always I'm always going around the butt area. It's like, and then did they be like, oh, don't touch me there?
Yes, yeah. It's like in Nier when they like kick you away, like get out of here, don't look at my skirt.
All right. Yeah. So it's one of those things you say, like, because of the features. Really, that's what really brings it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I would say.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those things that benefited from being a launch title.
It's for science. Science.
Exactly.
It's the technology. All right. Let me see before I say this game. Anything else? Let's go here. To Blinks 2, Masters of Time and Space, a forgotten game, apparently. Because I had never even heard of it. I didn't even know Blinks had a sequel. And
I completely forgot if I ever remembered that thing had a sequel.
And then Xbox never put it out there. They put Blinks out there. You can play it now, through Game Pass and or Games Go. I don't know which one came out first. Probably Game Pass. I mean, I don't. Maybe it was Games with Gold. I'm not sure. But Blinks, there was a sequel. It's like, why didn't you just put that one out there too? And he looked like he's got a pig.
I need more of this pig mascot they got on the front cover.
Now, is he like an ally? Or what's going on here?
He seems like he is. He seems like he's being nice.
This is the Blinks 2. The player switches between playing as the Time Sweepers and the Tom Toms. Oh, I guess that's what his biker gang is called. The much of the core gameplay is retained from the first game for the Time Sweepers, with each Time Sweeper equipped with a vacuum that can collect debris, time crystals, and gold crystals. Come on, the tip of the Tom do. The player no longer needs to collect crystals in order to receive a time control, but rather just collect three of a particular crystals. Okay, here we go. Tom-Toms control much like a stealth game, with players aiming to avoid Time Sweepers they're the enemies. Okay. To avoid Time Sweepers, to collect a loot.
You see both sides of the story, Dominic.
And then return it to their initial location without being caught. Oh, so it's multiplayer. So, okay. So I guess you can play as a Tom-Toms.
This is like The Last of Us Part 2, Dominic.
So missions, Despite being the game title after the character of Blinks, he is not playable in this game, Daniel.
What?
Being only present during cutscenes. He is instead replaced with 2 teams of 4 customizable characters, with a team for the Time Sweepers and a team for the Tom Toms. The players can customize
game is
these
completely
characters
completely forgettable
at any time in the hub world for respective team, with an in-depth set of sliders to scale various different aspects of the character and blah, blah, blah. Let me go to the plot. The player can choose to play either members of the Time Sweepers or the Tom Toms, which are the pigs, on their mission to prevent a threat which will result in a global catastrophe by finding the 8 fragments of the all-powerful Big Crystal. Some Tom pigs accidentally destroy the legendary Big Crystal upon discovering it. As a result, the Time Sweepers and the Tom Toms then fight past many time glitch monsters with each other. Upon completing levels, when playing as the Time Sweepers, a short cinematic plays of the mysterious Time Angel who wants her crystal repaired. At the end of the game, the players Super join with the team, which must go to the mysterious part of an alternate universe to defeat the Scissor Demon. I mentioned that which cannot return. The team's easily defeated by the demon until a squad of Tom-Toms, including the players' custom Tom-Toms, arrive. The Tom-Toms leader gives the players Tom Speaker the other half of the big crystal, so I guess they did it. Oh, I just told the ending. That's so ending. Like, I basically got that.
Oh, man.
And I ruined it. But yeah, so you don't even play as Blinks, though. He's just name only, which is weird. Okay.
That is wild. Also, this cover makes it look like the gritty reboot of Blinks, because, like, the first game, he's like, oh, cutesy, cartoony character, and this, he's like, grrr, I'm gonna fight some pigs.
He went on Conquer on us. All right,
yeah.
He went on Conquer and Jack. All right. What
Doesn't
else?
deserve to be in the same sentence as Jack. Come on now.
What else we got here? We got Super Mario 64 DS came out because the DS has been released. So yeah, I should have mentioned that for the other game. So yes, the DS has officially released this month. This is their anniversary, the 20th anniversary of the Nintendo DS. So good for them. That the first, technically it's not the first double screen system, but it's the first one that matters. All right.
Yes.
But Super Mario 64 DS. I did eventually get this game like years later when I had a DS Lite, and I want to say I was disappointed, but I was like, well, it wasn't worth it because I didn't get really far in that game.
It was a weird choice for them to make a console that a lot of developers focused on making 3D games for, and then not having an analog stick on that thing at all.
Yes.
Like, they gave you this like wrist strap that had a little plastic dongly bit on it that you could use on the touchscreen as an analog stick, and that just did not work very well.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's just not a game made for that. I mean, it's really just to show off that, hey, the capability of the DS, basically. That, hey, you can play these 3D games can be made on this thing, basically. That's really what it is, because this game is definitely not made for it. And they really, they couldn't really do much to make it better for that type of system. Not until I think years later they do get does like the 3DS have one or something? Like when did they get the what is the one that has like some kind of analog to it?
The 3DS does have.
It's a 3DS.
Analog,
okay,
and then
it's 3DS one. Okay,
yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
And then they eventually added the second analog nub to the new 3DSs.
That's what it was. Yeah, they had that. Yeah, they had that nub. Yeah.
Or the Circle Pad Pro that you could strap to the
you get
3DS.
But yeah, so yeah, it was really just showing capability. So it's like, okay, this game is. That's the way I saw it because I wasn't getting one, but I saw like, wow,
and the models were updated. Like it was a pretty good. It looked better than Super Mario 64.
It did, yeah, small screen.
And you
everything.
could play as different characters. You could play as Yoshi. You could play as Luigi. Like that stuff was cool. It also had some
that's
mini
right.
games.
I totally forgot you could do that. Yeah, because the Yoshi, I used to think like, hey. Because I always want to see that Yoshi on top of the castle, and I never did because I never collected all those damn stars. So now I can just play as them. So I was like, I don't have to worry about getting all those damn stars to see. I don't care about seeing him.
Get up to the roof and you see Mario on the roof.
You see Mario. Yeah, right. Is that what it is?
This is even more uneventful.
Is that what it is? You just see Mario if you play as Yoshi?
No, I don't know if they did it with that. If you just saw Yoshi.
Yeah.
That would be weird because you would see like humanized Yoshi that you're playing as versus like slightly more like hunched over, I'm gonna ride you Yoshi up on the roof of the castle.
What else have I seen?
Goofy Pluto situation.
But yeah, so the DS, this is like the DS. This was like the weird system that handheld Nintendo made. Oh man, I mean, I do like the wonk, like how weird it was and wonky it was and everything. But it turned out to be a great system, man. It turned out to be once they like had revamps, the DS Lite and then the 3DS and stuff like that.
Once they realized what they should be doing with it too, once it converted back to we should just be making more traditional 2D stuff on here. So.
Yeah, and it was something that can, still gonna be 2D, but utilize the two screens that is still something creative. Be really creative with it. And companies have. Not just Nintendo. There's been some other companies that have done some things too. Of course, there's a lot of junk because there was so many other systems. Yeah, you put out a game. I put out a game out there, Daniel. Never had a game. It was on the end cap of Target out there. All right. So what else we got here? We got Metro Prime Hunters. This is the launch Nintendo DS game, and how was this game, Daniel?
I was not a fan. I'm surprised at the score, honestly. It's an 85 on Metacritic.
Wow.
But
you were wrong, Daniel.
Yeah, I was, and maybe I need to revisit it. I think I only played the demo version of it, and I was expecting a single player game.
I was about to say, I thought it was a multiplayer game. I thought it was a multiplayer game.
Yeah, well, I think it's got single player stuff too, but it was kind of like an arena combat thing instead of a proper Metroid thing. And that's why I wasn't super into it. But now you're starting to see some of these hunters that appeared in that game be the protagonists of these new games. That is who is the bad guy in, seemingly from the trailer at least, in Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, okay.
So it does seem like it has some lore implications.
So you have to play that one to know what's going on.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. God, this is when Wi-Fi connection, Dominic, when they were excited to tout the ability of a Nintendo console to go online.
I know, man. I remember at the Target, and you were talking about oh yeah, try playing. You were trying to play your DS. Yeah, my McDonald's got Wi-Fi. McDonald's got Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
that was a big deal. That was a big deal. Then. Oh my goodness!
Now we just get bombarded by Wi-Fi rays all day.
Oh man, God darn, man, the times, man. That was just 10 years ago. God darn. 20 years ago.
Just 20 years. 20 years. Yeah. Oh my God, no, 20 years. Oh. 10 years ago felt like a long time. Oh, no, Dominic.
All right. Let's go here. What we got here? We got JFK Reloaded here. And I think I vaguely remember hearing about some controversy about a game that was about shooting JFK, but I just never knew what it was. Probably Game for a Price said that they weren't allowed to talk about the game, probably. So, because I don't think it's in their magazine or something. But yes, this is a game that you actually do assassinate JFK, but I guess it's supposed to be a learning experience on it. How could it really be done as they said it was done, or was it somewhere else, or was it Magneto who was back there, shifting the bullet? So but man, it's some things with this game. Yes, there's a controversy of that expected. There were politicians who were talking against it, or at least their spokespeople were, and then. Even the guy who created the game, what's his name? Kirk Ewing. He said let me see what he said right here. He said he intended to create a game based on a historical event, and initially considered modeling one after the Apollo 11 moon landing. Oh, that's nice. But I guess he saw that wasn't violent enough. And Ewing later settled on assassination of Kennedy. He went from Apollo moon landing to assassination of Kennedy, because I guess he was upset. He was like, "I'm upset." Kennedy was talking about getting a man on the moon. He's like, "Hey, he's talking about just killing him."
He lied to us. He told us that there was a man on the moon. That's what he was doing.
Because there was a high amount of public domain information documenting the event. He also noted that ballistic simulations were a staple of video games, and that many other forms of media had already covered the incident. Ewing sought help from a friend at Stainless Games, the developer of Carmageddon. The friend was fond of the game idea. God, man, these some disturbing people, dang. And provided graphic games with Carmageddon's game engine. Therein, the JFK Reloaded development team reconstructed the site of Kennedy's assassination with accurate object placements and apt weather conditions. According to Ewing, one aim of the development was to disprove conspiracy theories surrounding the event by displaying that Oswald would have been capable of performing the shooting with the given conditions of the day. The 10-person development team composed of former State of Emergency, Grand Theft Auto, and Killzone developers took several months to research the matter, followed by 6 months of producing the game. Before the game's release, Ewing sent a letter to Ted Kennedy, John F. Kennedy's brother and United States Senator for the Massachusetts, who was informed of the game November 19, 2004. Traffic Games announced JFK Reloaded on the November 21st and released it on the 22nd, the 41st anniversary of the assassination. It was the company's first release. Traffic Games distributed the game commercially alongside a free demo via the game's website. The site was set to remain available for 3 months. To boost the game's commercial performance, the company held a month-long competition for players to replicate the shooting as accurately as possible. The award was a cash prize of $100,000, depending on the game's revenue. The winner, a 16-year-old boy from Paris known as Major Coining of Koenig, ultimately received $10,000 as 712 cents. Was that because of the revenue, or that was like because he's in France and there's some type of currency stuff going on here? What is that? But
it correlates to a specific date.
Man,
it's like we're giving you this amount of money because this is the day John F. Kennedy died.
Wow! So a 16-year-old in Paris won. Boo!
I bet you the French killed them too.
And also, I want to say, like, what was it? Here it is. In retrospect, Ewing said he regretted tying a cash prize to killing Kennedy, saying that he had been naive.
As it turns out,
he has been naive and had underestimated the deepness of affection for Kennedy, held by many American people. Like, where is this guy from? Like, where are you at that you didn't think, like, oh, I didn't realize people like this man.
It's just naive, Dominic, that's all. He just lives in his nice little bubble.
He responded that the controversy was understandable given the fact that many people were alive at the time and still had vivid memories of the event, but stated that JFK Reloaded neither condoned nor glorified the event. But he did by giving her like a cash prize to assassinated. We can do the best assassination of Kennedy. Goodness gracious!
Did you get the ice bullet upgrade?
Yeah. All right. So here we are. Yeah, as you can see, I guess nobody want to be associated with reviewing. Oh, no, people did review the game because I did look it up. But I didn't see major guys. I think I only saw like a couple. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, probably people don't want to touch the game. It's like I can't associate with this game. I even played it.
Can I stream this on Twitch without getting demonetized?
Yeah, that's a good question. All right. What else we got here? We got World of Warcraft came out. Oh my goodness, we got some big games, man.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft.
It is wild.
20 years. They had a big thing. I saw on like one of the Xbox things they were advertising. So I was clicking on and said, "Oh, let's see what they announcing." And then I realized, oh, it's the 20th anniversary. And I kind of fast forward through it. But no. I didn't look at all. I didn't have time. I'll probably go back to look at that. Just because. I mean, even though I wasn't a World of Warcraft guy, I do like that, like the I'm interested in the game. I mean, I like the whole just the atmosphere around the game, like how big this game was. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
this is the MMO of MMOs. Like, this is the king. Like the king before that I knew of was like EverQuest, and I know some people always say Ultima Online. I say, well, I didn't know about that, honestly. That was before my time. I was a little kid. I didn't even know the internet existed when Ultima Online came out.
Yeah.
But like EverQuest was like the game, and then this just came and just blew it away, man. It just like blew everybody away. It's like, yeah, we're the king. And I was kind of saying, because I was a Warcraft fan. I used to like the strategy game. I like Warcraft. I like StarCraft. So I was like, oh, this sounds cool. But then I saw you have to pay a monthly subscription, and I didn't have a job then. So I was like, and then I needed a computer, to play it, and like, on stable online. And I was like, I don't have none of these things. I was like, darn, I can't even play this game. That seems like it's great. So, but lo and behold, I mean, this game is still going on. I didn't really, I could have joined, but then when I realized that, oh, it's not a game that I'm interested in playing right now. Now, if I had friends who were actually into this stuff, I probably would have. I probably would have joined them and stuff like that. But my friends are not into RPGs. They're not into this. They're not into these type of games. So I would never have gotten into this. But I've seen how the community was towards this game, like watching the G4 stuff, or the Tech TV stuff on Warcraft. I was like, darn, man, this game is like, it's huge. Like, you can do all this stuff in this game and everything. Like, and just this lore, like, they really go deep into the lore of Warcraft, that it really got deep for me in 3. Because, like, 2, I mean, they had lore stuff, but honestly, I think I was young. Like, I would have it play when they talked, but I'm not paying attention to shit. But 3 is when I was older in high school, and that game came out, and I started saying, like, wow, oh, damn, this shit is deep. And, like, World of Warcraft seemed like it really got really deep into that world, and then like all these characters, and it looked good. Like the graphics, like and the art style that went with that game. I was like, man, it's really colorful. It's really colorful fantasy world, and just think of all expansions that's come out, and still to this day, like I'm thinking, like people talking about, like I remember some days people talk about like, hey, they're gonna do it, or they're gonna do it too, but they see how big this game was. Like, man, they always just keep updating this game. That's all they did. They kept updating this game. Like, even graphically, they updated. Then they had that big, huge thing, Cataclysm, where they just like, I guess something. Well, just by the definition of Cataclysm, I guess something huge happened. That's what they needed. And the guy just covered everything, and then it kind of revamped everything. And then, then they even had it where they had like updated graphics. And they had like, oh, let's play. Hey, for people who want to go back to play the old one, we got World of War Classic, and that seemed to have gone badly. But I don't know how it is now. But yeah, but no, like the Warcraft, like that's a huge staple in gaming. This is like, it's huge. I'm still surprised that there has not been, even to this day, like a console release version, or to even, well, it only have to be the version. It could actually, maybe they can join. I mean, since he's the way consoles are now, but they haven't done a version of that to go with this game. Like Final Fantasy's even done that. I mean, of course Final Fantasy did. I mean, because they were a part of a console, and they've done a good job with it. And I'm just surprised that Blizzard has not gone to that. I mean, they've done the Overwatch thing. It seemed like I thought at some point, I thought by at least, I honestly thought in the 360 era, PS3 era, there would have been something like say, hey, we're bringing it so that, because people are online now, console games are online now, we're going to bring it so that these guys can play World of Warcraft up here. Because, I mean, they did it with all the other online games. Like, everybody else had those online game stuff happening, so I was like, I didn't see why World of Warcraft, but yeah, they stay strictly on PC. They stay strictly with PC with this game. You got anything to say about this? Because honestly, you probably played more than I did, because I never made an account. I never made an account in this game.
I made an account. I tested it out relatively early on when they had free trials. I played it the first night and I kind of enjoyed it. I was like, I could see the appeal of this. And then the second night I tried to get in and there was like a queue to get in. And I was like, why would I pay a subscription to sit here and potentially not be able to play a game? And that instantly turned me off to it. And I never went back to it because of that.
Wow. I didn't realize there was even a queue then for that.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's because I was like, is part of a trial, like looking back on it now, if I'm being generous, I don't know if it's because, I was in a lower tier because I was part of a trial. So I might have had to wait, or if it was just busier than normal because there was a trial going on or what have you. But I'd be interested to see what my life looked like if I had actually like gotten into World of Warcraft and like, started making friends and guilds and whatnot in World of Warcraft, living through there. I'd be far more into multiplayer games nowadays, Dominic. I definitely saw the appeal of it, but instantly just having that happen, I was like, there's no way. I'm not giving them money to sit here and wait my turn to play the game that I want to play. I'm trying to think if by then I had started working or not, but it was like, I have select amount of time. Either I'm going to school or I'm working. I can't remember what year I started at Target, honestly. But yeah, like that's just, there's no way. and that just instantly turned it off for me. And now I just make fun of nerds.
Well, I started
who play MMORPGs.
I started at Target in 2005. And you were there before
I think I started in 2005. Because like I graduated in 2004, and then I took 2 semesters of college, so that would have had to put me. That would have been like fall semester, and unless I did summer and fall. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was summer and fall semester, and I started during the holiday, and then that's why I didn't go back to school. So yeah, maybe that's what it was. I started in 2004. So by this time I would have been working, and I would have been at the end of the semester of school probably. So I was like, I'm done.
I think what stopped me from even thinking about doing this was I never got the concept of paying for a game monthly. I never got past that. Until late in my life, I understand, which honestly, I've never done it, but I understand it. I understand why, but I'm coming from where I'm just getting console games, and the idea of me paying a monthly fee just to play a game was weird to me. I didn't understand that. And I was like, I just want to buy the game. That's what I was trying to, and I think I was trying to look up and say, how much is this to have it forever? And you couldn't do that. So I was like, I don't want to do this. It's like, I don't want to pay monthly for a game. So I just couldn't understand the concept. At that time, my young brain, it just like, no, you buy game. Like my young brain was like, you buy game, you have game. That's how it works. Yeah. You don't buy game and keep paying. All right. So where we at here? Man, we got a lot of games here, a lot of important big games to talk about. So I think that's not it. It's one more big game, another big game. God, this all came out within this month. Think about it. World of Warcraft came out. What did I say? Like Metroid came out. Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas came out. What was it? Is it October or earlier this month? I don't know. Say Halo 2 came out. So now this game came out for PC. Half-Life 2 came out 20 years ago. I mean, this is huge. Like, this is the game I really saw a lot on G4 and Tech TV. And like, I was really jealous. And even like Game Informer magazine, I was just I didn't have a PC that could play this game because everyone talk about how great this game was, how realistic, talk about like, hey, picking up these boxes and how you can just destroy everything around you or something like that. like Like these things feel real and stuff. Like looking at screenshots and just reading about it, I just couldn't. I can't really picture everything. So I was like, I don't know. It sounds great though. But what does it mean? What does it mean? And then until I saw, until I saw the gameplay on G4 of them playing, I was like, holy shit, this game, like, it looks kind of cool. And I was like, wow, this looks really neat. And I see like why people really love this. And so I didn't get to play it until the Orange Box came, which is one of the greatest collections ever. And like probably still probably up there. It's probably up there still, probably the best collection ever. And I finally got it. I said, oh, I get to finally play Half-Life 2. And the game was awesome, even though there was long ass freaking load screens on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
But it was fun as hell. It was fun as hell. That game was, oh man, I really liked it. And it's like, oh, because episode 2, because episode 2 was new. So that was like maybe one of the first times I ever dealt with like DLC. Like, well, technically it was all in that one box. So, but that was DLC, and I was like, I never knew about episodes and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay. So I played episode 1, episode 2, and then I was like, man, I can't wait till episode 3 come out or Half-Life 3 comes out to see continue the story. We're still waiting. We're still waiting 20 years later. So I mean, well, technically not 20 years because he ain't gonna be happening then. But god damn, at least for the Orange Box is probably like what that came out 2006, I want to say, or 2007 maybe. Yeah, 2007. I want to say it came out. And darn, man, we still had what we got was a VR game. We got an update on Half-Life 2. 20th anniversary. You can play in 4K and ray tracing, I guess. Things I just don't care about. But anyway, no, it's good that they do that. But yeah, Half-Life 2, man, it's one of the best games ever. Like, just on a technological standpoint. Like and the creativeness of the levels too. Like it comes off like you seem like a simple shooter. I mean, like you have shooting stuff happens, but it's just the way that people react, the physics of the game. That was just so great. Then, I mean, like it's like really like you look at that, and then this is how like, a lot of games are what they are. I mean, like. What they done with what was it, the Source engine they use? That's what it's called.
Yeah, Source.
Yeah.
This would have been Source 2. No, this would be Source.
So at the time, man, I mean, this was great, and I heard of Half-Life. Because I just see it because I mean, it was popular, but I just see it because of advertisement. Like I saw advertising that, and then it came up. It was on PS2 also, like a re-release. And I saw like, hey, this is really, really good. And then it comes with this 2-player. It has like this extra 2-player thing where he plays, I think, this 2 women or something like that. Actually, I don't know if it was 2-player or it was just, I don't know. It was like an extra like story thing with it. But anyway, because like I just say like, oh, it's a PC game that seemed like it was real popular, and but nah, I couldn't tell you the story. I mean, I played through the game a couple times, but I just know some weird shit happens. And it was like the first time I played a game where, one of the first time. I think the first time really probably was maybe Butcher's Bay. Like where the story is happening while you're playing. It's not cutscenes. And like I only played a few games that have done that. I remember Butcher's Bay had stuff like that. But this game is like, I don't think there was any cutscene. I think everything story just happens. Like you can move around, like people talking and stuff. You can look. I said, oh wow. I was like, I never done this before. Like this. I always used to like, hey, stop for cutscene. You look at the story, which I don't mind. I know people always complain about that, but I always thought that was cool. Because I was like, hey, it's like a movie. Now I'm like, oh, damn cutscenes. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was cool that you're kind of in the game, like, hey, this is happening, like the story is happening while I'm here, and shit is going down. Yeah, that was real cool for me. To see, yeah, this game was, yeah, it was like, yeah, it was really groundbreaking when it came out. Even though I came a few years late, well, 3 years late, but still, yeah, I got to experience it, and it was still good. It's still one of the best games 3 years later. So when did you play the game?
I bought the game like day of launch. I actually, not to incriminate myself, may or may not have played the leaked part of the source demo, basically that turned out to be early parts of Half-Life 2. And I was very excited about that. I think I probably at the time specifically upgraded my computer to be prepared to play this game. Yeah, I remember buying it from Best Buy. I've still got the box upstairs. I got the Alex box because they had, one for Gordon, one for Alex, and one for the G-Man. And yeah, I was blown away by this game, basically. I don't remember what my relationship was to like Half-Life 1 before this game, but I remember being extremely excited about what I was seeing about this game and all the talk surrounding it. So I was like super amped up. I think I had actually played Half-Life 1 prior to that. But it doesn't have the same kind of like intrinsic memory there. Yeah, everything about this game was so cool. I mean, there's a reason why it's considered one of the best games ever. Between the use of the gravity gun and the portrayal of the characters. I mean, obviously as Gordon, you're just kind of this nameless, faceless person, even though you do see his face, even on the cover of the game. But the characters that you're interacting with, they're at that time, they were detailed in a way that you hadn't really seen in a lot of other
facial
games.
Expressions, yeah, they were making, yeah.
Yeah. And that was a lot of focus of like the marketing too, is like, look at the wrinkles around her mouth as she's talking to you. Yeah, it's really a special thing. I'm now talking about it, like I kind of want to go back and revisit it. Obviously, there are parts of that game that I remember not being as great as other parts. When you're in the prison and there you just got like you've got to set up the turrets to like fight off these waves of those enemies. Like that kind of sucked. I don't remember it being as hard as like I remember a lot of people saying, but I think I basically just like set up as many turrets as I could and like hid in the corner of this one place. It wasn't like me actively doing this thing. And then there's like that part where you're squishing the alien pod to like get these things to control, and you throw them at the enemies and those things jump out of the sand and all that stuff. Yeah, I have all these vague memories, so like it would be kind of cool to go back to that game. But yeah, obviously it's disappointing to not have a conclusion to that story, and I understand like the difficulty that they're probably struggling with to follow up, one of the greatest games of all time, but like
but everybody else do it.
Yeah, you're never gonna do it if you don't try. Like, this
I mean, god
Nintendo
damn,
puts out a Zelda every year.
It's like
what are we talking about? Yeah, they're like, we peaked, we're done. But like even worse, like at least those games mostly are standalone games. Like we're talking about a game that had a very definitive story and a very definitive cliffhanger in episode 2. And you couldn't even create an episode 3. Like we're not even asking. I mean, now people are asking for Half-Life 3,
it's too late,
but like
it's been so long.
Where is episode 3?
Yeah. You couldn't like at least finish that. That's what I'm saying.
Actually, what I want to do is I want to play Half-Life Alyx now, but if the fucking VR in this computer would actually be able to handle it.
But it's like, you couldn't at least just finish that story. Like, and then Half-Life 3, whatever. Like, you just left a cliffhanger, just don't finish the game. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, no, the company went defunct. No, they they are Steam, and they make a buttload of money. And
and that's the problem, right? Is they aren't backed in a corner where they have to release the game. They're like, we can coast off of Steam money for the rest of our existence.
That's a damn shame. Like, you couldn't just finish the story. See, I mean, that's one of my letters to Trump. That's another thing. Gonna sound force them to bring out Half-Life 3.
Break up this monopoly and let us strive.
Tell them that, look, they can unless they're gonna have to give up like some space, like for Epic Games and all these other places, because like since they're like the big kings of the PC world, they have to bring out Half-Life 3, or they're gonna have to give up some revenue. Not to pay us or something. All right. So that's
real quick, Dominic. Check your recording because you're sounding a little roboty.
Okay.
Like I can hear you relatively clearly, but there's kind of this like undertone to your voice.
I don't know. It's going. It's still going.
Okay.
But then again, I mean, I'm talking to you on my phone while I'm recording.
Gotcha. Yeah, and then you're recording it separately.
It's separate. Yeah.
You told me that.
All right. So, so that's it for 2004. So now we're going back 30 years. If I can find my cursor thing here. All right.
Wait, Dominic, did we talk about Snake Eater?
No. Okay. Snake Eater came out 20 years ago. All right. So now we're going back 30 years. So I got to stop. No. Oh my goodness. Another huge game, which was at the time a PS2 exclusive. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater came out. What was it? It's a time exclusive. But well, actually I don't know. Yeah, fine. Time exclusive. But yes. So this was, of course it's huge. It's Metal Gear Solid. And you have like after Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, it was great. You know, people were pissed off being rotten, which I never knew because I wasn't on internet boards. And I liked it. Now, I like Metal Gear Solid 2.
And everyone around me is a normal human being that doesn't get upset about these things.
Yeah. And I didn't care. I didn't play. I liked Snake in Metal Gear Solid, but that's the only Metal Gear Solid I ever played. So I wasn't like super attached. I thought it was cool. It was like, oh, he's Pliskin. But that's Snake before I played for the first game. And now I'm just playing as this rotten dude. Who, I mean, people make fun of stuff because that's fine, but I mean, whatever. And I thought it was really good. I thought it was a sophisticated story for my little pea brain of high school years. But anyway, so the thing is, I think that's what it was. Maybe that's why I wasn't so big on playing Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. Like I wasn't high on it like it was on Metal Gear Solid 2 is because I think Grand Theft Auto did that to me. I think Grand Theft Auto came out what month? Was it October? Or September? I think because
it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. So I think I just didn't. I was still focused on that. And like anyway, Grand Theft Auto 3 and Grand Theft Auto 3 came out same time as Metal Gear Solid 2. And thing is that Grand Theft Auto 3 turned out to be a surprise. It's like I was waiting for Metal Gear Solid 2 for years. And Grand Theft Auto 3 I didn't know about. I mean, I just read about it maybe a year before it came out. I wasn't waiting for it though. I just said like, oh, okay. I read about it. I wasn't like, it wasn't until my friend told me about it. What you can do and stuff that I went ahead and got it. So, like that wasn't even on my list of games like to get for Christmas that year. So I think San Andreas, that was what I was waiting for. And I think that just got my excitement. Now I see why Snake Eater wasn't up there. Because I wasn't disliking Metal Gear. I think it's just that my excitement for it was a little down because of I was so into Grand Theft Auto. And I'm getting Snake Eater like maybe a little less than a year later for cheap. And I played it and I liked it. I did like it. I just wasn't as high on it as 2 was. And it was a better game than 2. Like gameplay wise, it's a better game than 2. I mean, the whole jungle thing. You're in the daytime now. Because other games you were at night. It was either at night or actually technically in 2
it's super snowy out.
In 2 you were at night, but you were inside. You were inside a base, so it's easy. You're inside. You can hide and stuff like that. While now you're out in the jungle with the lighting and like the trees and stuff. It was a great job for the time, for the technology, for what they done with that, the graphics for the PS2. Like that was awesome. And then you had these like, oh, I'm gonna get this certain camo so I can really hide here for this guy. He can't even tell. Like I'm right there near him, but I'm like going mixing with the grass and stuff, and then I go kill him. Blah blah blah. I know there was alligators in there and stuff like that. I don't remember like everything from the game because I think I only played the game twice. I played the game when I first came out, and I played it again, I think, as HD on PS3. But I don't really remember that run that much. But it was a great game, and of course people loved it. I mean, we got the remake. Did it come out yet?
No.
Okay, so we're waiting for that remake of it. But yeah, so it's I mean, yeah, this was huge. This was a huge year. 2004 was pretty big. It was a pretty big year. Darn is up there. All right. What I'm looking at here. So we're going back 30 years. 30 years ago. Well, actually, no. I still got 2 more games. God fucking damn it. There's a lot of fucking games that came out. Dragon Quest VIII, Journey of the Cursed King came out. In Japan. It was the Japanese release, which was the first release of this game. This is my first Dragon Quest game I ever gotten. I'm in reading about it. I saw the visuals, like how the cartoon, the cel-shaded cartoon graphics they had. I really liked it. And it was an RPG, like Square Enix was a thing. So I was like, I'll give this a shot. I saw good reviews. I bought it. I really bought it because it did come with the demo of Final Fantasy 12. And turns out, what was a better game? Some people probably will argue that Dragon Quest 8 is, 7 is. 8. I'm sorry. 8 is. I think it's up there. I mean, I think they're about the same. Honestly, I do like Final Fantasy 12. I know a lot of people didn't. I like Final Fantasy 12 because it seemed like it was written. It don't feel Japanese, honestly. Like it's not written that way. It's not written in the way of like the other JRPGs. It feels almost like westernized Final Fantasy, and maybe that's why people don't like it, and I do.
Yeah.
But Dragon Quest 8 anyway. That was a good game. Like it was basically like a simple JRPG, if you know JRPGs. But for me, it was the first experience with Dragon Quest. It was the first time I ever seen slime and all that stuff that I've been seeing in magazines. But the graphics were good. It was voice acting. The music was all orchestra music and stuff like that. It was long. I remember I do have I still have it the strategy guide for that game. I did everything in that damn game. I did everything. It took forever for me to complete that game, but it was fun. It was a fun game. I remember it came back re-released on the 3DS. I want to say, yeah. I remember saying like, "Yeah, I want to get this game," and I never did. And one day I'm gonna go back and play that game though. But yeah, it's yeah, this is really memorable because it's like my first foray into Dragon Quest, and realizing after playing all those games, a lot of games in the series, that maybe I'd like this series better than Final Fantasy overall. Like I don't know. I mean, overall, like as the series has been going, like both of them have been going, I feel like Dragon Quest says I like that better because Final Fantasy. I mean, I get a Final Fantasy was trying to change things up. That's it though. Doesn't changes are always great. So unfortunately, and while Dragon Quest keeps it simple, but it's like, man, simple sure does work, don't it? All right,
yeah.
Beautiful Joe 2 came out 20 years ago. This is the sequel to
Yeah.
one of those great gems that's out there, man. That Capcom has put out, and for some reason don't want to put out again. But
we're getting remasters of so many things, and they just can't give us this.
Yeah,
it's trash.
I know we got Epic Mickey came out, and then they done two remasters of damn Last of Us and shit like that. I mean, you got they can't even give us this one. You get 17 the Resident Evil 4s, but anyway.
But even like the stuff like Tech and the Power of Juju, like those kind of things, we're seeing those come back.
Tasmanian,
what are we doing?
Tasmanian Tiger guy, or whatever.
Yeah.
The Sphinx guy.
Sphinx and the Curse of the Mummy. Like, what are we doing here?
So, Beautiful Joe 2. I don't remember that much. I know you do play as a girl. That's the only thing I remember from that game.
Yeah, I remember there were 2 players, and I don't remember initially liking this one as much as the first one, but I also didn't spend as much time with this one as the first one.
Okay. Also, last and maybe least, I don't know. Probably compare these games. Kingdom Hearts Chains of Memories. It's the Game Boy Advance Kingdom Hearts game, which this is when I should have realized this series was doomed because for me personally, because I seriously just thought this was just a retelling of the first game, which somewhat it is.
Yeah.
Because it is his memories, but it's actually a story to it that when you play 2, apparently you had to play this game to know what the hell's going on, because I was like, oh, these events happened before? I say, oh, wasn't that Chains of Memory game? I thought the Chains of Memory game was just the Game Boy Advance version of the first game.
Meanwhile, this is the only one I've put any time into.
Yeah, and I played the game too when they had the collection that came out on PS3, and I did not like it. Luckily, I had some type of like code breaker thing that I jailbreak my PlayStation 3 so I can put cheats in, and I had it so I could easily get through that game just to see the story. And what a waste of even doing that. I should have just watched that shit on YouTube.
Oh, what a world.
So Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, that came out 20 years ago. That was the first sequel to Kingdom Hearts, one of my favorite games out there. I still didn't get 2 yet, and not until a year later. All right, so now we go back 30 years. We got a couple games here. We got Donkey Kong Country, 30 years old. It is 30 years old. And I mean, this game was the game that really made me jealous of the Super Nintendo, because I was like, wow, they get to get this game. This great looking game.
We can do 3D too.
And it's somewhat 3D, whatever the hell it is. But it looked great, man. And I remember going over a friend's house, played this all the time. I would just play that game all the time. Then my sister had, even years later, it'd be like, it was time of the PlayStation, like 96, 97. I was still, if I go to my sister's house at a time, I would break out her Super Nintendo if I can play that game. I was like, man, I used to just love the game, man. Just because of the graphics. Really, just because of the graphics. I mean, the gameplay was fine, but it was really just like that look of the game. Yeah, I was like, man, this game looks awesome. But tell me your time with the game.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like when in the timeline of it coming out did I get it. I don't recall, but yeah, this is a game that as a younger person, I don't remember ever getting very far in that game. But I definitely played, because I would always get to like the woodsy area with those like orangutans.
Yeah.
And then die.
I'll always die at the... I think it was with the orangutans, yeah. Because I finally get past the lightning one where it's dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get to I think that's what it was. So what's the area, and then that's where
I would have a lot of trouble with the train tracks too. Some of those jumps were a little too spot on. I
did have trouble, but for some reason I don't know. I didn't have as trouble as much as other people complained about it. I always thought it was fun.
Yeah. Now looking back on it now, like this is a game that's so easy for me to just jump on the Switch and play. I should definitely give it a shot and see like how far I can get. But I'll tell you, those first couple of levels, that first like world, I guess the first group on the island, I spend a lot of time playing that game because it was one of like, I don't know, 5 Super Nintendo games I had. You know, obviously we would rent some every couple of weekends or whatever, but yeah, that's a game I spent a lot of time with, and that was the first thing that I went to when I jumped into the Nintendo Music app was listening to some Donkey Kong country music.
Phyllis no, you listen to Donkey Kong. That's the game.
The rap.
No, not the rap. No, the old
Donkey Kong 64.
Old Donkey Kong, you know, the Mario.
Jumpman, got it.
But no, Donkey Country. That was cool, man. Yeah, the cartoon series was horrible, but the game was it was good. Oh yes, and the last game for that came out 30 years ago, Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble came out for the Game Gear in Japan.
Oh man,
and this game was awesome. I had this game. I don't know when it came out in the US, but yes, this was the Sonic game where the first one that I want to say is the first one to have Knuckles, and also this other character named Weasel, like who you never ever see again until this new Sonic game that's about to come out. He never shows up again. Like the story is that like look like it's still the same as 3. So I'm guessing I'm trying to think. It's like, so it's not really canonical. It's like it's a separate story because I'm like, how did Knuckles get tricked again by Robotnik? like you should know he's bad from Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic 3. So Sonic 3 is / Sonic and Knuckles. So now the story is that Robotnik tricks Knuckles that Sonic is trying to steal his emeralds. So Knuckles is going after Sonic while Sonic's trying to get the emeralds. And then the Weasel is coming out saying he wants to get emeralds too. So you got like a 4-way thing going for emeralds, really, with Sonic, Tails on the team, and everybody else kind of for themselves. And yeah, that's how the story goes. And yeah, it was cool. I don't remember everything. I don't really much about this game, honestly, because I haven't played this since I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
But I remember I did like it. And yeah, I do want to, I don't know. I feel like I want to find it again somewhere. I wish they would do a Game Gear thing going on Switch and put all these games up there. But yeah, it was this game was awesome. This was the last Sonic game I played on the Game Gear. I don't know if it was the last one released, honestly. I have no idea. But yeah, it was the last one. I had to believe it was the last good one. I know that. And it probably was the last good Sonic game released because this is after Sonic and Knuckles. So this was it. This was it. After that, this is when Sonic he went downhill from there.
Yeah.
He went down Green Zone Hill. He went down Green Zone Hill from there. That's it for the flashback segment. A very long flashback segment. So we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get to the gaming news. What we got?
All right. First up, Dominic, the Grand Theft Auto trilogy has gotten a much-needed update. Apparently, it greatly improves the graphics because they restored the original lighting or something like that. But the kind of big news point out of this is that in the update, Grove Street Games was taken out of the credits. Now, Grove Street Games is the main developer of the GTA trilogy. Mm-hmm. They are the ones who a lot of people blamed for it being kind of shit when it released. Obviously, some of the people over there are not happy about that. Basically, one of the guys said, hypothetically, it would be a dick move if that were to happen. So it did, and apparently they think that the people over at Rockstar are kind of a dick. Yeah, it definitely sucks that a developer who worked on the game is getting the credit taken away from them, but at the same time, they kind of released a really poor version of some really fantastic games.
And they still got credit. They're in the credits. They're just not in the beginning when they show.
That's what it was.
The games, the game that's done. So they are in the end credits. There's not in the beginning credits. So
yeah.
I mean, am I saying that's right or wrong? I honestly don't know. Maybe. I mean, honestly, I would have just kept them in because it's like, gives a shit. At this point, like it.
Apparently they do.
Yeah,
apparently Rockstar's like they're not getting the credit for us fixing this game for them.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, but I would have still just had them there. I mean,
you bite the bullet and you deal with it. Like it's not that big a deal.
I think just to go out your way to take them off is it's like what? Like what's the point? Like what? It's
just kind of petty.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to think. It's like, is this some kind of money thing? Because I don't think it is. Because I think somebody would have said it. So I'm like, it's really, it's really just pettiness.
Yeah. So, all right, Dominic. Next up, we've got Microsoft is getting the internet angry with their "This is an Xbox ad" campaign. Have you seen this? Where it's basically like different devices, TVs, Oculus Rifts, things of that nature, phones, and they're like, this is an Xbox that hangs on the wall. This is an Xbox that you wear. This is an Xbox that you make calls on. And of course, people are upset because like, I bought Xbox hardware and that's you're disrespecting me.
Oh, they're saying it's Xbox everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah, they're basically doing an ad campaign where it's like, you can play Xbox games on everything, which is kind of been what they've been saying for a long time.
I misread it. I thought you said Microsoft was pissed off that the internet was making ads. That's why.
Although that would be funny.
If this is off internet, so that's what they meant because they're saying like I bought a console. Well.
Yeah, I bought a console. Like you're disrespecting me by now making your games available everywhere. I mean, obviously,
but they've been doing that though. So
yeah, that's the thing. Like, and the final boss of this is obviously an ad where it's like this is an Xbox that also plays PlayStation games, and it's just a picture of a PS5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a Nintendo Switch, once they allow that to get Game Pass on there.
Yeah, Switch 2.
Exactly. I just think it's so funny that people are getting upset about this. Like, the writing has been there for a very long time now.
Yeah, I understand getting upset before.
There's a reason why I don't own an Xbox.
Yeah, it's okay.
I didn't see the value in it, even as someone who records a podcast about video games.
It's okay that you don't like it, but it's like, your rant should have happened like years ago. So it's like it's pretty much old rant now. Like it's like whatever. Yeah. Like this is happening.
Yeah. Because speaking of which, Microsoft did something that we've been waiting for them to do for a very long time. They finally opened it up so that you can stream some of the games that you own. They're starting with a select group of 50 right now, which includes some more modern things and some things like, WWE 2K and Hogwarts Legacy, stuff like that.
But they also got
obviously I would like to see this expanded more.
Space Marine.
Space Marine.
And I was looking at Cyberpunk because I was looking at the next. I was like, and that expansion going because hey, my hardware was really pushing it, and I was like, this would be a cool way. I mean, we already have Game Pass, so it's not like me having to pay for another service with GeoForce Now. So I just use theirs. But that's cool. This is what, like you said, this is what we've been asking for a while. It's like, hey,
this is what they've been saying they were going to do for a long time. So it's about time they do it.
Yeah, exactly. And just like because some of the games they had on Game Pass, like some of those games I would buy, I was like, hey, if you can still stream them, it's like, hey, can I still at least stream like Dragon Ball Z? the Fighters Z, and I was like, hey, I own this game, and I like that it was streaming. I'm gonna still play on the cloud though. But now I can't. But yeah, so yeah, I want to see some more games out there. It's good that they've got these 50 out there, but yeah, I just want to see some more games. Like, I'm glad they're starting to do that. So that's really good because you already got this service, and you don't have to go get GeForce Now. Now, getting GeForce Now, I mean, yes, that's a better streaming service as of right now. So, but I guess you can look at it that way, like you pay for quality. So so there's something extra. While me, as long as this is running all right, if it runs okay, I'm good. With that, like for what this is, and like how much content you get, it's like I can deal with that. Now, if it looks bad, like how you were saying you're a stalker, that's kind of a deal breaker. But it's like for me, see, I haven't got to that problem like you had. So I guess I don't know. It depends. It may depend on the game, some games, or just the service or something. Yeah, because if I come to that problem, like if you're talking about like it's too dark, you can't see, things of that nature. Yeah, I couldn't do it. Yeah, I couldn't. It won't matter about that. But so far I haven't come to that problem. I might try a stalker just to see, do I run into that problem on my phone like you did, just to see like how that works out, and can this be fixed? What else we got here?
All right. Speaking of streaming stuff, Dominic, Sony has added a beta for streaming online games, like streaming games from online, to the PlayStation Portal finally. So now it is not a device that is just limited to the games that you own and can stick in your PlayStation or load from your PlayStation. You can now actually use the PlayStation servers to play these.
That's a damn shame. That's
a damn shame that it took this long for that to happen.
It should have just been there. That should have been
yes. It should have launched that way.
Yeah, and for some reason I thought it did, and yeah, no, I think I did thought it did, and then when I found it didn't, I was like,
yeah. Then you found out it didn't.
I was like, what is this for then? And I was like, this is dumb to pay for this thing. Now, yeah. Now it's actually meaning something. Oh yeah, but also I was looking at your thing because apparently you must have just read up on the PlayStation service, because I saw that it was like, hey, just add like $20-something more, you get up to the incentive. Well, what's it called? What's the premium tier?
The highest level.
Yeah, because I was thinking, because a lot of those games I can stream. I don't have to go through your PlayStation, and it'll probably be better for me to stream them that way. Because that is like almost
because they are doing PS5 games now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
I was like, oh, I gotta think about that. So now I'm like, because that'd be cool to do that, and if it's only that much. Cause that just much more for 300-something days to say they got left on it, because you just read it up. I was like, darn, that's actually not that bad then. It was just bad that you paid for that, because I thought you was getting rid of it. I thought you was getting rid of that.
I intended to get rid of it originally, and then it re-upped, and then this year I completely forgot that it was about that time to re-up.
Because when I looked, I said, oh crap, he didn't. I said, maybe he got a deal. Because I was like,
nope, didn't get a deal. Just completely forgot about it, and they still have my credit card information.
Oh, darn. Because I was wondering why I was like that. I was like, huh. I said, anyway, where am I at here, Daniel? Where we at? Okay, what we got next?
All right, so next up, Dominic, this is kind of the big news of the week, outside of the last story that we'll talk about, but Kadokawa, I don't know why I'm struggling with that. Kadokawa, the parent company of FromSoftware and also Spike Chunsoft and Acquire, who recently worked on Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Anime too? I feel like I've seen them.
It's a whole big like conglomeration thing.
Okay.
Apparently, they have confirmed that they have gotten a letter of intent to purchase from Sony. I do not like the sound of that. We have seen recently what Sony has to do when this consolidation happens.
Only to the Americans then.
Yeah, that maybe
or Europeans. I don't know what Concord is. So,
Europeans,
but only to the Western people, to the Western Mongols.
I don't know, Dominic. Like I can't really think of many games coming out of Sony Japan nowadays. So like, I don't have a lot of hope for what they would do with this. It's because they're all locked in clauses, Dominic. Yeah, just like, I know this is like, maybe if you've been listening to this podcast for a long time, like this is a far cry from like how we felt about the Microsoft Activision deal. And obviously, you know, seeing the results of that, we feel a certain way even about that.
Yeah.
But like, I see no benefit whatsoever to us as consumers or from FromSoftware. Like, they're doing perfectly fine.
Yeah,
I don't know about Katakawa as... Sorry, what?
I said there is no benefit for us in this.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's no benefit to us. I don't see that there's much of a benefit from FromSoftware, who can basically write their own checks right now. I don't know what Katakawa's status is as a company, but like, I do not like any of this. I do not want this to go through. And people that I know that even are big fans of the you know, Souls-like games, they're like, why would I want this? I don't want Sony to put their hands on this.
And like, if they might say like, wait a minute, why you're not okay with this, but you were okay with Activision deals, because Game Pass, it was Game Pass, and I was saying like, you get all those games on Game Pass. That was what we thought was that potential. It wasn't just this Microsoft owning them. I didn't care about them owning them.
No,
I just, because if they could somehow get those games.
Although I did kind of like the idea of them getting away from like ownership by Bobby Kotick, because that was a bad situation.
Yeah, I guess that was yeah. So it
seemed like that could be an improvement.
It was like, yeah, and also you get these games on Game Pass like that. I don't have to buy all those games. Like me at once. I can just use it on the service that you already paid for. That's what it was. Like with this, I guess people could say, well, you can get these games on PlayStation Now, or whatever they call it. The Essential, Premium Plus, whatever. Yeah, I guess they can say that. I guess you can say that, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just not the same. Because it's just, it isn't.
Yeah, because they don't even guarantee their games on day one. So,
and they don't stay, and they don't even care. Yeah,
and
they don't guarantee day one. And
I was going to say, and they don't stay too.
They don't stay. Like, you can't. Yeah, that's not. Yeah. So, nah. Yeah, I would like, and I'm not even
And they also had a large library, like FromSoftware. Like, obviously, they've got the Dark Souls games, and they've got the robot games. And Cookies and Cream or whatever, but like, that's not the same as like an Activision.
No, and then you have the PC crowd don't like signing into other these accounts, man. You're gonna have them sign into the PlayStation account.
Could you imagine if they updated all these Dark Souls and Elden Ring with Sony login games?
Yeah. Even though I might not be a fan of these games, but just the idea, like. Nah, I don't want this. I mean, I don't see the benefit for us. If you can tell me what the benefit for the consumer is, I'll do it. Like I said, there was something with the Microsoft. Now, like in retrospect, now I wouldn't care. I was like, whatever. I would say like I would rather for them not to do it. I hope Activision can find a better way to get rid of Kotick and find somebody better. I mean, even though yes, technically. I do have some games out, but no, they come out piecemeal, man. I was like, no, man, I don't need that. I need y'all to do better. But yeah, no, the FromSoftware, yeah, I don't want them to go through with it, and yeah, because it's aimed at Chunsoft, because that's even stuff I play. What's it called, Danganronpa stuff, and that the latest game I was playing, the Detective Ghost. Babe thing, whatever I'm playing. But yeah, I'm playing that. So yeah, I don't want that to happen. Octopath, you said Octopath Traveler. They did that.
Yeah, Acquire made that game.
Acquire made, and so, but wasn't that Square Enix too? Publish?
Yeah, I think they published it.
Oh,
for
okay.
them.
Okay. All right.
They developed it, and then they published it the same way like they worked on Mario and Luigi Brothers.
Gotcha.
Nintendo obviously published that. So, yeah.
All right.
Bad news if that goes through, Dominic.
Yeah, or good news if you're Sony. If you got Sony stock or something, good for you. Or you work at Sony, good for you guys.
Yeah, something like that. All right, Dominic. And then the last story we got here, the nominations for Jeff Keighley's Game of the Year awards.
We can do a deep dive.
Have come out.
We can do a deep dive of this like next week. Because this podcast is going long
in the future.
But we just talk about at least the main nomination, and then we go deep dive later on.
Yeah. So the biggest kind of controversy that's coming out of this is that Jeff Keighley has announced that DLCs will be eligible for Game of the Year, and as such, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is nominated in the Game of the Year category, along with Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. I know there's also, you had mentioned it, there's kind of a lot of controversy around this category. In addition to that, there's people obviously saying like Balatro is a card game, and then Black Myth Wukong even.
Yeah, so Black Myth Wukong, well, the controversy with Black Myth Wukong, now there actually are some people who don't like the game, but that's the bigger controversy was even before these announcements, that people were even assuming that it wouldn't be nominated for Game of the Year. Everyone was getting ready for it. Like, they were saying, like, how wrong it would be, like, if they don't put Black Myth Wukong up there. That should be up there. And I'm like, what is going, like, what is the information out there that you're getting that you think is a possibility? Now, Destin, when I was listening to his show, Destin has this podcast, and he be with IGN. He came from IGN. I don't know if he's still with them, but I know he talks to those guys.
I was going to say, is he still with IGN?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But he was saying that because he see that how some people, because initially, because Black Myth Wukong had some problems early on, and that kind of hurt it. That he said
the problem is it's not on Xbox yet, Dominic. That's the problem.
And but he said that shouldn't be a factor, and blah blah blah. And first I was thinking, because I was just listening to him, I was listening deeply, so I was thinking like, oh, the announcements happened. The announcements didn't happen yet. That would happen like I think the next day or something, or hours later. And then I saw it was up there. It was like, and then I did watch his podcast. He said, "Oh, I was wrong." I say I was wrong. That I'm surprised that they put it up there. And I said, I was going to be surprised if they didn't. Honestly, I was the opposite, and I was like, "What are you?" And like I saw some people saying the same thing in the comments. Well, not what I said. Like on this other one, some people were saying like how Black Myth Wukong should be up there, and they better. It's like people were just ready for that to be up there. I was just surprised. Like, I thought that was a given that was going to be up there. But here's the thing. A lot of people do love Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. No, they love that DLC. Because, I mean, that DLC / expansion. Because it was great. It was awesome. But even people who loved it, I'm surprised. They said that they don't feel like DLC should be nominated. I was shocked. I was thinking I was going to hear people kind of like how they were with The Witcher. Even though Witcher got nominated, it won Best RPG that year for its expansion. Now, I played the RPG. I played The Witcher's expansion. That thing is great. I see why it was nominated and won. Though I will say this, I disagree, like, maybe it shouldn't have. Maybe it should, and just like with Elden Ring, I don't think it should be nominated either, even though it's known to be great by the people, because it's one of those games. It's not a game that's like Miles Morales, or or actually probably any of the Sony games, Sony ones. And I'm trying to think of another game that's like, oh, you can play it by itself, but it's expansion. But any game like that, because you need the base game. And I feel like if you need the base game to play the game, this is not a game, like a full game. You can have a category to recognize, though, if that's what you want to do. You can have a category that's called expansions. We get expansions every freaking year. You do have a category for ongoing game, which is kind of along those lines. If you want to do a separate category, you can do that. You can give its game its due. I mean, for the first thing, but no, I don't think you should put a game, no matter how big it is, if it requires another game to play it, I don't think it should be part of Game of the Year because, like someone said, you could do World of Warcraft. I mean, a lot of years should be up there, maybe. Not recent, but I'm saying like if they had it, like that could be up there. You can just do
when it was popular.
Yeah, you can do probably a lot of those MMOs or like it's like somebody says like you're gonna start doing seasons. There's just a Fortnite season standing up there or something like that. I mean, technically, ongoing game is that. But I feel like that should be a separate thing. I mean, and I get it. Like I get that how big this game is, or whatever. And not only how big it is, but how good it is. Because it shouldn't matter how big. Because it could be big and it's still not that good. If something that's small like DLC and it's great, it's great. Though I doubt you ever put something like that up there, though. I feel like you did Erdtree. I feel like Erdtree is the one that goes up there because Elden Ring is popular, and that's the problem. Is like, look, this is like the most somewhat legitimate game show you got, and I get it. Like, look, you need advertisers and stuff like that. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with advertising and stuff like that. But like, don't make the actual award a joke. Like, don't turn that to something that it just feels like you're just catering to certain people. And I mean, I think they've already done that, but that's why people treat it like it is. And like sometimes they do. Sometimes they do good. Like I look at this nominated list, except for Elden Ring. I think it's fine. I only played 1, 2, 3. I played 3 of these games. And I mean the other ones I can see them up there. I know some people were upset like you're gonna put a Earth thing up there, but you're not gonna put, or you're gonna put the Pablacho thing because it's a card game up there, but you're not gonna put Silent Hill. You're not gonna put what was there another good remake that came out this year? Because 4 came out. Resident Evil 4 came out last year, right? Ah, crap. My fault.
Not sure.
Hello. Okay. Okay. You hear me? Okay. Good.
Yeah, now I can hear.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't think of other games people said. Well, I know some people say, "Oh, I'm so happy that Dragon Age Veilguard didn't get up here," something like that. I was like, whatever. Though, like just playing Veilguard, like I said, it's a good game, but yeah, I can see other games being better than that. So, I'm trying to think of another game that could be up here in its place. Like, just look at this. I'm going to look at this list. Like, no Nintendo game.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't really have anything this year that seems to hit.
It should have been Dragon Ball Sparking Zero up there, Daniel. That should have been nominated instead.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Obviously.
You got you mean Super Mario Party Jamboree, Daniel, been up there for best game of the year?
No, I don't think that would have hit.
It could have been Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. That's a family game. I'm
honestly,
okay.
I think that's a Nintendo category.
Yes, hold off.
They threw it in there to maybe give it something.
yes, hold off on that. You like for later on that. Because I didn't look at this list and now I see that. Yeah. Like, what the hell? Space Marine 2. I know some people were saying that. Helldivers 2. Some people were saying that.
Yeah, I could see that. I know people have kind of turned on that with the Sony online stuff.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, but
I'm sure
but the
that's
game
still
is a
got
game.
people playing it.
The game is a game.
Yeah.
Um,
Star Wars Outlaws, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Star Wars Outlaws, yeah, that's.
I mean, like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I wouldn't be.
Oh, that was another.
I wouldn't
Yes,
have been surprised.
That was another game people said that got disrespected by not being nominated, and you put Erdtree up there. So
yeah.
Like, then it's this debate, Daniel, too. Remakes and remasters should not be able to win Game of the Year award. Some people said. I think remakes can. Remasters, no. Remakes?
I mean, remasters, it's unlikely that they're going to. Well, I mean, I could see the argument made like, hey, if I put out Half-Life 2 and I just bump the res up on the graphics, the game is still one of the greatest games ever. So, like, obviously it should be one of the best games of this year.
Oh.
But yeah, like
no, that's not
a remake.
Daniel, for you even listen to that argument, I think is doing injustice. You just smack the person who ever said that. Because that's all you did was up-res the graphics.
I don't think anybody's making that argument, Dominic. But yeah, a remake, they're doing work in most cases to change the game in some way.
Destin, he said, because he didn't agree with Erdtree being there either, but he also said he don't think remakes and remasters. He said because remakes, the story's already set. But I was like, okay, so what? So what the story's set? I mean, because and I guess they say like creativity or something like that. I was like,
but I think you have to take into account that people are taking that into account. Like they're taking into the account that it is a remake of something.
Exactly.
So it's not new. So therefore, it doesn't get the credit for it being a new thing.
Yeah.
Like Resident Evil 4 last year may have been one of the best games last year, but it wasn't the best game last year.
No.
Whereas when Resident Evil 4 came out, it was the best game because it was doing something new and creative.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, listen, if for that year, I think those people are. If it turns out like that game, that remake is better than these other games, I think the remake should be known. It's not a remaster. It's not like just an up-res. They remade the game. I think that's what I assume. I assume people, they all take that into consideration. Like, yeah, it's a remake, but look what they did with this remake. Something like that. Like, they made this game a whole lot like better, and it's great. Compared to games now, it's not the same way of looking at like a remaster, saying this remaster is still better than the games now. Because even if the remaster is better than the games this year, it's not going to listen. It had its time. It's just people can play it again. That's it. Movies don't do that. You don't do it in movies. You don't do like say like, oh, we made the lighting better or something like Star Wars. Well, Star Wars never had on. That's like, hey, we did something to this. No. like movies do have things that make things better, but don't go like, oh, we go to the Oscars again. No, you don't do that. So that's what I'm saying. Remasters, no, you don't do that. Now, unless you want to do a remaster category, but I don't agree with that, honestly. No. Those people, they got their due. They're getting money again. They got their due. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, they're getting paid to make a game again. Like the same game again. This ain't they ain't, that's just up-res stuff. They got like, that's what they do. They don't need nothing else. Yeah. A remake is different, man. I think a remake is different. Like, I'm not going to die on a hill, but I just think that, I don't know. I just think it's a remake. It takes more, and it can be a better thing, and it can be great. Like Resident Evil remakes were great. Now, and they didn't. Well, in the Game Awards, they didn't win it, but they were good, really good. They were really good. So I mean, I think they like nominate compared to some other games. Yeah. So that's it. We'll go more into each category later on, especially our favorite category. The what's our favorite category, Daniel? It's the gaming
best in accessibility.
The
Gamers for Change.
No. The gaming teams, the esports.
Okay.
That's our favorite
Of
one.
course.
Yes, we love esports.
No, my favorite is best esports coach.
The one where the guy wasn't the coach was nominated. Yes. He's like, "Oh, I'm no coach anymore." It's like, I'm just yeah. But yeah, we can. So that's it. So I guess we can get to new releases.
All right. Yeah, new releases here. We got a couple. We got first up, The Rise of the Golden Idol. I mentioned that earlier. That's out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X.
You said you played on a tablet. So what did you get it on?
Yeah, I played it on an Android tablet.
Oh, Android. Okay. About to say, if you got an Apple, Daniel,
I've got a Samsung.
If you got an Apple store, Daniel,
whatever.
I've been so angry.
No, still don't have any Apple products in my house, Dominic.
I thought you had an iPad.
Yeah. No, never had an iPad. I have an iPod Touch around here somewhere, but I don't think that thing's worked for several years now.
Oh, okay.
That was the last Apple product that I owned. I used to have an iPhone for work, but don't work there anymore. All right, next up, Tetris Forever. That's out on the PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. I've heard some pretty good things about this.
Yeah, I have too.
It's basically like...
But I don't...
It's one of those like documentary style games where you're getting to play the game, but also learning stuff.
But the only problem is that no Nintendo ones.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Which is like, that's the most important one.
That's what to say. That's how I knew about Tetris.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, that's a lie. My dad did have Tetris on a computer before I had a Game Boy. But I was so very young. I remember seeing the blocks. I didn't know what the hell it was. But Tetris, the one I actually played was the Game Boy one. And that's the most a lot of people played. And that was a disappointment because I was watching Midmax podcast and they were talking about it, like one of the guys was kind of making a face like, I was like, why is he not liking this? He said, yeah, but I was like, what is wrong? What's wrong with Tetris that he does? I mean, not Tetris. I mean, like, I can see he don't like Tetris, but I knew he liked Tetris. So I was like, what is his problem? And he said, like, but how do you don't have like none of the Nintendo ones? I was like, say they don't. I say, whoa, darn, deal breaker. I was like, because I was really looking at that. I was like, wow, because I was like, that's cool. They give me all the Tetrises, and then like, when I looked on Steam, all mixed reviews. Like some people said, they say, yeah, this is all right, except for all the bad Tetrises. Somebody says all the bad. He says only, and one person said, well, it was one Tetris. Somebody said, hey, this is good for just this Tetris. It was like some type of versus Tetris or something.
Tetris Battle Gaiden is one I hear people talk about a lot.
That's what it was.
That's included in there.
But nah, man. I think they should have worked with Nintendo or something. Like, does Nintendo own that Tetris? Is that what it is? Yeah, I feel like this. It should have been some part.
I don't know. I mean, I guess they own those versions, but it was, I don't know who owns it anymore. I guess the Tetris company, but like Ubisoft was making Tetris games there for a while. Where are the Ubisoft games? Where's Tetris World? Yeah, and Tetris Sphere.
And what's the one that came out recently? The one I played on the Oculus it was. We have it too on the place. I think we got it free with Xbox or whatever, and probably PlayStation also. I
don't know why I'm forgetting the name of that game, but yeah, the one that came out not that long ago.
I keep wanting to say Tetris Forever.
Yeah, that's the problem. Tetris Effect.
Tetris Effect. Yes. Yeah. Like, I mean, Russia should just go tell them, and like Putin should just be like, no, you put the Nintendo ones out there too. Just force them.
I'll agree to that deal if he agrees to end the war.
Yeah. All right. What we got here today?
All right. We also have, speaking of Activision games, World of Warcraft 1 and World of Warcraft 2 remastered.
Not World of Warcraft, Daniel. Just Warcraft.
Not World of Warcraft. Sorry. Warcraft. Yes. Warcraft 1 and 2.
The disrespect.
Which 2 is, a game that I spend a lot of time with. I have seen some people complaining about this because they put out like very good looking artwork showing what these remasters were going to look like, and then in the game they just look like kind of bad AI upscaling. So that's disappointing.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I feel like they still probably look better than that original game does to play now. It's like one of those things where if it's AI upscaled, it looks like how you remember it looking.
I really liked well, that's how I felt about StarCraft when I played the remaster of that one. I played a lot of 2 also. I mean, 1 was the first one I ever played, and 2 was, I think 2 had just came out or something because my dad, I guess he was trying to test to see if we liked it, and then you're going to get 2, and oh my God, I played the shit out of 2. Like, I played so much of 2. I just remember, like, what did he say? Oh, what did the orc say? It's something like that. I forgot all the sayings. I do remember being attacked. We're being attacked! Or something like that. I just remember the orcish horde. That's the first time I ever heard that before. The orcish horde. It's like, that's where they were. That was so for into the grunts. Oh yeah, the grunts would say, "Zum zum, Gradu." He's like, they don't say but yeah, it was that game, man. I used to play the hell out of that game. I never played it without cheats. I don't even know. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I never experienced it. I never experienced that game. I don't know what the game is like without cheats. Like actually losing bases and stuff. I don't know what the hell that's like.
It's not good, that's for sure.
Oh man, I remember just having a whole bunch of just griffins just going. I'll say, go attack them. He's like this kind of army of griffins just going out and just showing everything. Or dragons when you had the orcs. But that was a good game. That's cool that they got that. Oh, also I think it's maybe like is it 30th anniversary? I thought I said that. But I know World of Warcraft was 20th. When did Warcraft come out? Warcraft Rumble.
Trapped inside the Xbox app now somehow. Also, how did these games not launch on Game Pass, Dominic?
It came out in 94, so it's been 30 years. Yeah. So 30-year anniversary for Warcraft and then 20-year anniversary for World of Warcraft. Well, that's freaking crazy. I forgot to I forgot to put that on my list. But yeah, Warcraft that was like, I mean, I don't know what game they had before this, but this has got to be the game that really just put them on the map.
No, Blackthorn.
Blackthorn came out before this game?
I feel like it did. Must have, right? Maybe not. What about 3 Lost Vikings or whatever that shit was?
Yeah, but I didn't know it was that popular though, honestly. I mean, it might have been.
I don't think it was.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like, that was a Blizzard game.
All right, so what else we got there?
All right. We also have a Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS5, and Xbox.
Why are people liking this game?
And people are saying that's good.
Okay,
Dominic.
yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yep. I don't know that there's much more to it. I saw some people complaining about there being not like a lot of like quality of life stuff, like speed leveling and things of that nature.
Man, I don't like that.
Yeah,
come on, man. People got
that's the only problem.
Got things to do now.
Exactly. All right. We also have Lego Horizon Adventures out now on the PC, Nintendo Switch, and PS5. I heard the Switch version actually runs pretty decently, like locked at 30.
I heard.
But overall, it's kind of Yeah.
I heard this okay game. I mean, as far as lately, what's a great Lego game, honestly, you know? Like, I mean, I don't think a great one's been since like the early Star Wars and stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, people were pretty high on the Skywalker saga one, right?
Yeah,
where that's
like
improve the combat.
Yeah, that's because people's standards have gone down. They because it went by so quick. I mean, look, it's good for kids, for all of them are. But
Yeah.
It did a lot of improvements, but it's like each section goes by real quick. I don't know. It was okay. Like it was better than the last few Lego games they have done. Yes, that's it. But I mean,
because before that, the last like best Lego game was probably like one of the Batman ones, right?
Yeah, it probably was. Oh yeah, I like the villains. The villains one.
The villains one.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh, but Dragon Quest 3, yeah. You know what? Because I was thinking that maybe that's why I saw so much comment is that like, look, the people who played this game when it came out, like they're all adults now because the game is so old. And like come on, man, when you do a remake, put some stuff like that in there. Because like people, especially people
absolutely.
Like say, look, man, I ain't got time to be spending time leveling up and like going and keep fighting these same freaking creatures all the time. I saw Donkey's video of the Dragon Quest 3 thing. That was pretty,
oh yeah, I haven't seen that.
That was pretty funny. Because you can like, I guess you can get your like own crew, like anybody. I guess because they're not the main characters or something. They're not important. And it said like, don't get clowns because they're weak or something. He got like 3 clowns in his crew, and they are weak. Like they hit like one hit point when they hit something. Like it's just one hit point or something. Yeah, it was pretty funny. All right, so what else we got?
Nice. All right. We also have a Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I'd actually heard people being kind of like meh about this.
I mean, what else can they do until they do the stuff I said?
Which is fly planes into buildings? Yes. I don't think you're going to get that anytime soon.
Well, then I don't care.
Not in Donald Trump's America. You can't. That's some blue hair America stuff right there. We stand the Twin Towers here, Dominic. All right, we got Genshin Impact, Dominic. It's finally out on the Xbox. I kind of forgot that it wasn't already out on the Xbox until I got an email from Xbox going, "We've got Genshin Impact now."
Yes,
like that's great.
Yeah, they heard my slogan, "Stop American Hate," and they said, "Yes, we'll put it up here." The Japanese finally did it.
That's what it was, and I'd like to personally say thank you for that, Dominic. Glad we got it. All right. And we've got Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, out now on the PC and Xbox. It's got like 7s, right? X. Yeah, it seems like it's reviewing okay. It's not blowing anybody's mind, but it is. I think it's a step in the right direction for Microsoft. You know, this is an exclusive, at least for now, even though it wasn't developed by them.
These Russian games, man, like these type of Chernobyl lights, man. It's just something, man. Like Chernobyl, like a good vacation spot now. Is that like a good place to go?
Only if you're like into the weird like post-apocalypticness of it.
Yeah, I was about to say I seen the like pictures.
They do tours and stuff.
I know, yeah, I've seen that.
But it's and it's a lot of like, oh look, nature is like healing kind of stuff, but obviously it's still not a place that you want to spend a significant.
They should have like a mascot, like a guy with 2 heads or something like that. It's like, hey, I'm the Chernobyl guy who's been living out here. So it's
Cherney, the Chernobyl bull.
Yeah, for something for the kids, you know. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not even sure where's Chernobyl.
I always just imagine, even though that's not Chernobyl, but actually, yeah, they still got. It's the Ferris wheel still works out there.
Only if you rebuild it. I guess they're far enough, west that they aren't owned by Russia yet. But I wonder how long before Chernobyl is just part of Russia.
Why do you want it?
I mean, you got to kickstart that factory again, or not factory, that power plant again, down. Got lots of Russians to feed and give power to.
I like a.
That's where they're gonna start a Bitcoin mining thing out of Chernobyl. Once or AI. No, they're doing AI now.
I was going to say they're doing like a Russian kaiju or something like that.
maybe they're doing that. Maybe. Maybe little do we know, asleep underneath Chernobyl is, you know, Godzilla.
The Kami Godzilla.
Yeah. Soviet bloc Godzilla. All right, Dominic. So that's what we got for this week. You got anything else for the people?
No, I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys as always for listening. You check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at DStalworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has all of our previous podcasts as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube Music, Amazon, Spotify, any place that you find an audio podcast. We're also there. And until next time, guys, talk to you later.
All right, see you.